It's that time again. Welcome to the stage. Oh yeah. Where energy and creativity collide. Here we go. Let's level up. Make this something to remember. All right.
All right, everybody, as the summer comes to a close and it's time for fall, it is time for week 3 of the NACE Starleague 2022 fall season as we continue with more Smash Ultimate Crews. I am Dak alongside my main man, Mies, and of course, NACE Starleague wants to thank all of our sponsors, including Extra Life, for putting this all together. You got to head to extralife.org for more information on how you can help change the future with games. And we're here to call some more awesome Collegiate Smash Crew battle action. Mies, how you feeling today, man?
I am feeling great, and honestly, if last week was any indication of how the rest of the season is going to go, we are in for a treat today. Last week, again, we got to see Minnesota State, Shawnee, Kaiser State, Old Dominion, all phenomenal schools, phenomenal talent, and like I just said, if this week is even half as good as last week was, then everyone who is at home watching this is in for a very, very good show. But for those who are just joining us, let's do a quick little recap of how the season format is going to be going. We have the regular season, which is what we are in currently. A couple teams are going to make it into the conference play-in, and eventually the conference championship. And then I believe there is going to be and the last chance qualifier, my bad, right into the playoffs, and then eventually the playoffs are going to lead to the grand finals, where we will crown a NACE Starleague 2022 fall champion, and I am so excited to see who is going to make it. But now for today's schedule, we have LVC, that is Lebanon Valley College, and versus Shenandoah University. And on the other half of the bracket, we have an all-Texas battle. That is DBU, Dallas Baptist University, versus LCU, which is Lubbock Christian University. All-Texas battle there. That's going to be really, really interesting to see. A little bit of an in-state rivalry. I feel like we don't get that too much in collegiate esports, Dak.
Yeah, considering these schools could be anywhere and anywhere, really, everywhere and anywhere in the country. We saw last week we had matches happening from north to south, east to west, and now, we got a little bit of Pennsylvania versus Virginia action. We got the Texas versus Texas action, and we have one of these teams is still 2-0. Lebanon Valley College sitting at the 2-0 record. The other teams here are 1-1, so they're trying to hold on to that undefeated record as they move into week 3. And of course, the other teams are trying to get 2 wins on the board. Yeah, I'm excited to see this because last week we had these teams playing and they're trying to hold on to maybe their 1-0s, and now we have teams already at 1-1, 2-0, and of course they're all playing for that big scholarship prize, and we have $2K for first place, $1,000 for second, and $500 for third place. So they're not just playing for bragging rights, they are playing for a little bit of that dough as well, and we are certainly excited to see which teams walk away with those cash prizes.
Yeah, I've been a college student. I'm about to go to university again. I'm sure you've been. We all know how much a little bit of money could go. So thank you so much for supplying the prize pool. But yeah, not just fighting for bragging rights, fighting for some cash too. And honestly, we were talking about the rosters earlier, the potential roster of characters that we might be getting to see today, and some pretty interesting teams, a pretty interesting team layout if we got the characters correct. So I'm gonna be really excited to see. Last week I feel like we got a lot of uncommon characters. We got some Zelda, we got some Wii Fit, all that kind of stuff. But today I'm thinking we're gonna get a couple more common characters. But here is the format for Smash. We have teams of 4 compete in a crew battle. Stocks carry over in each match, and a best of 3 in the crew battles win each series. If you're not as familiar with the crew battle format, and maybe you only watch, the standard 1v1s, the amount of stocks you have at the end of a battle does actually matter. Every single stock counts, because if you finish a match with 1 stock, you start the next match with only 1 stock. So every single stock counts. Again, that's if you're unfamiliar with the crew battle format. And I'm really loving the fact that we're doing crew battles as we see the rosters here, because I feel like 1v1s, maybe doubles, you don't really get a feel for how good each school as a whole is. That's more of an individual type of thing. So I'm really, really loving that we're doing collegiate crew battles as we see the rosters here on the left side. Lebanon Valley College. What a chuck, man. That's a good one. T Stu 14, Manta, and a Doink. And on the other side, Shenandoah University, we got Igloo, Moon Lady, Squid Plumber, and Kip.
Absolutely, yeah, and it is going to be a best of 3, so we're going to be seeing all these players, barring any changes, multiple times here. So it's certainly up to both of these teams to be able to adapt from game to game, match to match, and as we saw last week, that very often comes in the form of lineup changes, order changes, and character changes. So definitely excited to see what these teams have to offer. Lebanon Valley College is 2-0, or only 2-0 team of the night. They have a 2-0 win against St. Lawrence, and then they actually won 2-1 against Widener University, which is interesting because Shenandoah has a 2-0 win against that squad. So even though Shenandoah is the 1-1 team, they actually do have a slightly better victory record against Widener, but they did drop 0-2 to Quinnipiac, which makes them 1-1. And honestly, on paper, both of these teams have pretty decent character pools. Their players, this is, it's one of those situations where all the players in all these teams have a good amount of results to pull from and pick and choose from. They have a lot of top 8s in the locals and regionals, top 8s, top 16s, pretty decent placings at, more notable majors like Super Smash Con, and we'll get into that more as we jump into these games. So this is definitely, this matchup in particular, I was able to find a good amount of information on all of the players that we had seen, which tells me that these are players that definitely compete in their region. They're not just playing at their own school. They have some, tenure in terms of, experience. They've been playing for a little while at the very least, and certainly should have some good matchup knowledge going into this. And their character pools have pretty decent coverage. I would say Shenandoah might, and we'll see this, we'll talk about this in a bit. Shenandoah might have a bit more of an advantage in terms of character pool, some higher tier picks, but we're also on, we're online, we're on Wi-Fi, and some of these, the tier list looks very different online compared to in person. So I'm excited to see if these players stick with their characters and what order they come out in.
And even just to kind of talk about the character roster again, as great as a roster might look on paper, unfortunately the game is not played on paper, like you said.
Yeah,
this is Wi-Fi, this is online. Things change, things are a bit different. Some things sometimes are better, sometimes are worse, but it's going to be really interesting to see. But if you have any idea of what like a tier list looks like, just toss it out, because none of that matters when you are playing online. But different point, I brought this up last week, that one thing I love about collegiate Smash, collegiate esports in general, and you kind of just brought it up, a lot of these people have really great placings. You said a couple players did really good at SmashCon. A lot of them do really, really well in their locals. So these are not nobodies. These are players who you may not have heard of, but these are all very, very talented people. And I love things like this, because this could be their coming out party. This could be maybe not the first time, but one of the only times they kind of get to put themselves on a big stage. Granted, tournaments are hard to get to with all the, with everything going on right now. So you know what? This might be the one time they have to kind of put themselves on that big stage, play against other, national class talent, and just represent their school. And we talked to some of the students last week after some of their matches, and they have so much school pride. They have so much. It's not just a thing like, oh man, my school has a Smash team, I'm gonna play that, I'm good at Smash. Like, they genuinely love repping their school, and they have so much school pride. So I'm really, really glad that they get to rep their schools on this kind of stage.
Absolutely, and I think that's true of all the games we see here at NACE, right? Like, even from, casting, Valorant, and then, Call of Duty, Rocket League, CSGO, like, all these teams, like, big support from all their friends and fellow students at their schools, which is great to see. Very often when I'm in like the chat for any collegiate stuff, there's people from the schools in the chat, like cheering them on, which is really awesome. I love that kind of support, and I'm sure the players love it as well. So really excited to see how this pans out, because again, we have a team who is still 2-0, so they're trying to hold on to that perfect record so far. We're only in week 3, but hey, like, there's only so many teams that last and have that undefeated streak. 3 of the 4 teams are 1-1 tonight. So I'm expecting, you know, again, this isn't playing on paper, but on paper, I think these are closer matchups than we potentially might have seen last week, which is always great because we love close matches and we love to see these teams, you know, be neck and neck in terms of results. So definitely excited about that. In terms of players, for me, from Shenandoah, I'm very much looking forward to seeing Squid Plumber play. They have a pretty solid Simon Richter, you know, Belmont in their pocket, and they got 193rd at SmashCon this year. So I think that's probably the best placing that I've seen from all these players tonight. Moon Lady also 285th from SmashCon. They have a Joker. So I'm looking at Shenandoah. They have a bunch of players on their team that have some not only good results in their local and, like, you know, local tournaments in their region, but they've gone to majors and have also, you know, done well as well. At least as my research is correct. So that's something that I'm going to keep in mind. I think from LVC, I see players who are strong in their region, do well at their locals, but I didn't see as many out of region or like major results to the same level. But they're the team that's 2-0. Shenandoah is 1-1, and that just is that a reflection of, you know, Shenandoah maybe, you know, looking better on paper, or was Quinnipiac just like really that good and handing them a hard 2-0 loss? So yeah, definitely excited to see how this pans out as we jump into our first game hopefully soon, and looking to see what these players have to offer.
And that's why I love crew battles, because you might have a team of great individual players, and even though, yeah, this is technically it is 1v1, having a good strategy, knowing matchup, saying, hey, this player plays this kind of style, we're going to send in a player that might be worse on them, quote unquote, but you know what, right, maybe their styles are, maybe stylistically it's a better matchup. So yeah, even though you said Shenandoah may have better talent, Lebanon might just have that better cohesiveness, a better team, better communication, whatever the case is. So, you know, having that individual talent doesn't always lead to wins in the crew battle format.
Absolutely. And I'm now looking at kind of the character pool here. So for LVC, it looks like they're going to have a pool like Bowser, Falco, Rob, and Yoshi. Again, these are, like we saw last week, like this is not set in stone, because we saw almost a lot of players last week change, you know, start with the secondary and then come back in with the main the second game, or vice versa. Shenandoah looks like they have a Yoshi, Joker, as I said, Belmont, and then possibly a Pac-Man. And I think our first, you know, matchup here is going to be Doink versus Squid Plumber. So we're going to have Yoshi versus Richter. So that's going to be our start off there. Any thoughts on that matchup there, Mies?
Definitely not a matchup you see ever, if often. Yoshi's a character I feel like early Ultimate, a lot of people were kind of, you know, playing Yoshi. That character kind of dwindled down a bit. Honestly, same with Richter. We saw Riddles early in like 2019, absolutely going nuts with that character. But as he dropped that character, we started to see other people kind of sort of drop the character. So Richter / Simon, definitely a couple of valiant Simon and Richter players left, but you really don't see too many of them. But to talk about the matchup a little bit more, obviously, Simon Richter, a ton of projectiles. It's going to be really hard to weave in and out of everything that they want to throw at you. But if there's any character that can do it, it is Yoshi. With the amount of air maneuverability that character has, being able to reverse your neutral B to kind of weave in and out of things. Obviously, that double jump being a little bit weird with the flutter kick. The up B kind of stalling you. And Yoshi has a lot of tools that can help you navigate everything that Simon and Richter want to throw at you. And also has a neutral air, which is very, very, very good, which I actually think clanks with a lot of the projectiles that those characters want to toss out. As we do get into this game one, it is a Richter versus Yoshi in this game one here.
Yep, there we go. We are right on the money, and we're going to be kicking things off here on small battlefield. So again, this is a crew battle style. Both teams with 12 stocks apiece. You take out 4 players, you take out all of their stocks, and so far, Squid Plumber, which on paper, their best player for Shenandoah, off to a very strong start.
Not gonna lie, I would have imagined someone named Squid Plumber being a Inkling Mario main or something like that. So Richter did catch me off guard. It does catch me off guard a little bit, but we do see Squid get off to a very good start. Quick 60% or so lead. I mentioned that Yoshi is really good at maneuvering around a lot of the projectiles, but right now Doink not doing too good of a job of it. As we're seeing Squid Plumber do a fantastic job of keeping Doink at bay. It's not letting them land either.
Yeah, and shout outs to Bramble Blast in the background. Love
Fantastic
to hear that. Yeah, so far this has been really difficult for Doink to get in. Oh, that's a massive missed opportunity to get some advantage state there for the Yoshi. But Holy Fire, I mean, the Holy Water is just absolutely bodying Yoshi, because that's a multi-hit that'll break through that super armor, so you can't just jump right through that, which is a big deal. And then, of course, you keep him at back air range. You're getting too close, you're going to get shuriken. So Squid Plumber off to a very strong start here, only at 54%, and a nice off-the-cross combo there to try to get things going. Doink now has a little bit of momentum, but Squid Plumber doing a great job of stifling any momentum that Doink seems to build.
Yeah, like every single time it seems like Doink is about to, kind of do one of those long Yoshi strings that we're often used to seeing. It really feels like Squid Plumber just either up Bs or just DIs out of it, canceling all of that momentum. And it really feels like Doink is just struggling to get anything significant going here. It's a lot of stray hits, a couple of 1-2 hit combos. Nothing really that we're used to seeing Yoshi doing.
I love how Squid Plumber is pretty much checking Doink on every run with cross, right? Like, if they're committing to a full run, they're going to get hit and not have enough time to get into shield when that cross comes out. Of course, you have to also take into account the connection as well. And that's a shield break, and that's going to be a full punish to the kill. Squid Plumber now up 3-1 in stocks. An extremely strong start here for Shenandoah.
If Squid can manage to hang on to this one stock, that is going to be absolutely huge for Shenandoah. Again, in the crew battle format, the amount of stocks you finish a match with does matter. If Squid Plumber does lose the stock, he will start the next match with 2 if they do still manage to win. And at this rate, Deck, I think this might be a wrap.
Doink has to be careful of those ground pounds there. That's just a massive punish opportunity for Squid Plumber. And they're just fishing for the down air into uppercut. It finally lands, and Squid Plumber takes it a 3 stock to get Shenandoah up 12-9. So as you said, that means Squid Plumber is going to come back into this with a fresh, full 3 stocks. It's almost as if that game didn't happen.
Basically.
And yeah, Shenandoah has to be happy about that.
Oh my gosh, Squid with, that was some of the best Richter play I've seen in a very, very long time. I mentioned, Yoshi is one of the few characters that I think on paper is really good at maneuvering and kind of dealing with those projectiles, but I just don't know if that was matchup inexperience. I don't know if maybe Squid has familiarity playing against Yoshi, but that was an absolute body bag coming through from Squid Plumber. And like you said, it's just basically like that first match never happened, because now they're going into match 2, full 12 stocks. No matter who they send in next, they have to put in a astronomical amount of work to make this even a close game at this point.
Yeah, I would hope to see in that matchup a bit more egg toss from Yoshi, right? Like, slow it down. It's hard to play the shield game as Yoshi because he has a, not the best shield drop. So you can nair out a shield, but that's not going to do a lot against Belmont's ranged attacks on the ground. It's easier said than done, especially on a stage like that, which is really small. But egg toss is a really awesome tool you can use to get over cross and get over Holy Fire, and then actually hit the Belmont, but we didn't get to see too much of that there. So now going into this next one, Lebanon Valley College has 3 players left. Of course, they have, from what I know, a Bowser, Falco, and Rob left. So Woodchuckman on the Bowser, T-Stew on the Falco, Manta on the Rob. My guess is going to be going to a Rob here. Here's a little bit of a replay, by the way. And yeah, that's the shield break. Just catch him in the Holy Fire, and then the up smash to clean it up. Yeah, getting that's pretty much the matchup, right? Is locking Yoshi into shield as much as you can, which in other matchups, Yoshi's jumping out a lot of the time. But in this one, you almost can't afford to do so.
And the Holy Fire, like you mentioned during the match, multiple hit. Yoshi does have double jump armor. Those first couple frames of Yoshi's second jump, they can tank one hit and get through it. But because that Holy Water is, again, it is multi-hit, that basically negates one of Yoshi's best tools right there. Yep. And we saw Squid take full advantage of it. But to go back on who might get sent in next, if it is between, was it Rob Falco and Bowser? I would think, Bowser is definitely off the table against Belmont. Between Rob Falco, you can really go either way. Rob is definitely the better character over Falco, but Falco, obviously, he's kind of like Yoshi. Pretty good at zone breaking. Pretty good at kind of getting in. Obviously has that reflector too, which is going to be very, very, very vital in the match. Rob also does have that side B reflector, which you don't see come out too often being used as a reflector, but hopefully we get to see that if this is a Rob. But my point is, you can really go either way with Rob Falco. I really don't think there's a wrong answer there. But I kind of lean towards Rob.
Yeah, see, it's a double-edged sword, because if you go for Rob and it goes wrong, you're left with Bowser Falco, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the issue. But if you go Falco Falco might not be able to get the job done. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Falco isn't a bad idea because both the Belmonts are pretty heavy and have pretty solid fall speed. So there's the Falco. Yeah, like if Falco's gonna be able to combo anybody, they're gonna be able to combo the Belmonts. So
Absolutely.
if you're gonna see T-Stu be able to pull off these combos, like that's the difference, the key X factor. But what's really important is the high percent exchanges, because once Belmont starts falling, once Richter starts falling out of those combos, now you really got to have to play, the follow-up game, the neutral game, and get back into this. So we'll see. But Squid Plumber so far keeping it close.
And as someone who plays Falco, you want to keep your opponent in that 60 to, let's say, 85, 90% range, because that's what... or you can just get hit. Or wow. Because that's when your combos are, your up tilt to back air, stuff like that is going to connect. But yeah, once you're in that 100, 110 plus range, that's when you're going to start to see Falco maybe do a couple things that are a little unsafe and try and get that KO. So this is around the percentage you do want to keep Squid Plumber if you do want to get a consistent KO. But you know what? With the way Squid is playing, I don't even think T-Stu's going to get the chance.
This is definitely looking a little bit better, though. Squid might drop at least a stock here, which, was what Lebanon absolutely needs. T-Stu, though, okay. Squid Plumber's getting a little egregious here, though, with these crazy smash attacks, but I'm sure they know. They've already done their work here, and now this is all just extra credit.
Yeah.
And Squid Plumber is now keeping things ranged here.
Okay, what's the edge guard here? No, okay. Using the actual whiffing it, getting the down air, couldn't quite get an up B off of it. Another uppercut, and right now Squid's still on this first stock of the entire crew battle. If you are just joining us, Squid did manage to take 3 stocks off of Boink in game 1. There's that back air. Not quite enough, but the Firebird is going to get Stu back on stage. And this is the percent when you're Falco. This is where you don't want your opponent. Because now you're going to have to start fishing for a raw back air, a raw forward air, anything like that, because your combos aren't going to hit. That's going to hit, though.
Wow, really solid read there by Squid Plumber. Already kind of conditioned T-Stu to not just do regular get up or jump, so they read the roll in and then just had the drop down back air ready to go. So Squid Plumber is already firing on all cylinders here and playing another game here. And this Holy Fires are just crazy. Get a little bit of a breakdance though. T-Stu hits him with a down smash. That'll be Squid Plumber's first stock loss this entire crew battle. They've taken out 5 stocks and they've only lost 1 so far, and it looks like they might go for the 6th.
Yeah, 5 while only losing 1. I always say in crew battles, if you take out at least 4, you've done an amazing job. Right now, we're about to see Squid take out possibly 6 while only losing 1 in 2 matchups that I would say on paper Richter definitely loses. So this is really, really impressive coming through from Squid Plumber. But like you said, they came 193rd at SmashCon. So definitely a very talented player like we're seeing right now.
Yeah, 193rd at SmashCon, which is certainly not much to scoff at all, but we saw a little bit of a change here from T-Stu. There was like a moment there, he's like, wait, I'm gonna camp and use lasers and reflector, and then they stopped doing it. But like, start going full Tilde here, man. Like, just camp. Like, Belmonts all want you to approach, so they want you to get hit by this crazy bullet hell they throw out in front of you. But as Falco, you can laser, you can throw out reflector. You don't have to approach with, short hop forward air every time. And I think, very nice. That should be enough to kill. Nice. That's actually pretty major. T-Stu might not be able to get another one after that, but putting Squid down to 1 stock is definitely something that they're happy to walk away with that.
And yeah, putting Squid down to 1 stock when it looked like they might finish another set with all 3 of them, possibly 2. Very big. Kind of stops the bleeding a little bit, but whoever is going to be after Falco when Falco eventually goes down, when T-Stu eventually goes down, is still going to have to put in a lot of work. Let's see what T-Stu can do in this next match. But do we have, what was the rest of the character roster for Shen and Doa?
So for Shen and Doa here, I know they have the full lineup of, so obviously Squid Plumber, Moon Lady the Joker, Igloo, Yoshi, Kip, I believe is a Pac-Man. This is, by the way, this nice little drop down full send here. And the thing is, though, is, I mean, I believe, right? Like, Squid Plumber's still in this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So Squid Plumber can still do a ton of damage, like even with 1 stock. So this is gonna be risky because LVC only has a Bowser and Rob left to work with, and you think like, okay, you kind of have to use the Rob now because you want to get rid of Squid Plumber as soon as possible. But now that means that Shenandoah can just pick against that for the rest of the set because they're probably not worried about a Bowser. Yeah. This is what comes into crew battles, right? Like, what investment are you willing to make at what time? And I think the move to Falco before the Rob was smart. It's just unfortunate that they didn't get all those 3 stocks, right? Like that said, putting Squid Plumber to 1 stock was massive because Manta on paper as Rob should be able to get a stock without dying once.
Yeah,
is what I would think. And then okay, like they're down by 3 stocks, but a Rob can bring it back. So we'll see. LVC has a lot of work here to get done and get back into this.
And we've both seen what Rob can do, potentially getting KOs at what, like I've seen as low as like 40%. You get thrown off stage, get side beat. I've seen absolutely asinine percents where Rob's able to take off stocks consistently as well. But on the other hand, sending in Bowser next just to take out 1 stock might be Bowser's on Shenandoah's side, right?
Bowser is on LVC side.
LVC side.
So
okay, my bad.
That's Woodchuckman. So we would have Woodchuckman with the Bowser, Manta with the Rob, and then Shenandoah is still waiting with, you know, the rest of Squid Plumber stocks, and then Moon Lady on Joker, Kip, I believe, is a Pac-Man, and then Igloo Yoshi. So that's the thing too, is if Shenandoah loses Squid Plumber, like you put in the Joker or the Pac-Man.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know, you're good.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're fine. That's 2 really, really high tier characters. Some would honestly say both of those characters are in the top 10 currently, definitely arguable. A lot higher than Falco is in the tier list. But again, with Wi-Fi, I feel like tier lists don't matter as much. I honestly, if it's between Joker Pac-Man, I kind of lean Pac-Man just because of Wi-Fi. Though Falco does have reflectors to kind of deal with a lot of the stuff that you want to send. It's just so much harder to react to everything Pac-Man wants to do online. And when you have a character like Falco, who is very defensively, I want to say is very reaction-based character defensively, that's going to be a really big advantage for Pac-Man going in if that's what they do up to send.
Well, we're hopefully going to see who they're going to send soon. Of course, we got the time. We're going to thank all of our sponsors here at NACE Starleague: Extra Life, Corsair, Monster, BetterHelp, Duncan, and Mavix for helping make this show possible as we jump right into game 3 here. So with that said, we have Squid Plumber, who has that last stock left, so they're going to drop those 2 stocks, and it is indeed Manta coming out here on the Rob. So Manta, all they got to do is take 1 stock off of Squid Plumber, and that will get the ball rolling here for Lebanon. But look at this, there's a 4 stock lead here for Shenandoah.
But if there's any character capable of bringing this back, it is definitely Rob, capable of taking stocks at incredibly early percents, whether that's with side B, whether that's with down air off stage, even up air if you DI it improperly. But either way, Squid off to a pretty good start right now, considering the matchup. Has this dead even. Good cross up with the cross. Okay, gyro on stage. That's basically acting like a second character. If you're unfamiliar, that hitbox is active, so you can't be running into it until it winds down, like we saw right there. Right now, Squid Plumber definitely holding their own. Ooh. That would have been a stock hit if that forward smash hit.
Not only holding their own, they got the lead now, man.
Yep.
Like this is, and they're like, all right, I can do this game just as well as you can. I'll just start throwing everything I have, you know, the kitchen sink and then some. But this hanging out on the platform is exactly what Manta wants. You have that up air, and you're going to be able to have a lot of opportunities to go for up smash. There's one out of the shit. I don't think Squid Plumber was ready and waiting for that. And now they got to get back on stage. And these uppercuts are coming out very liberally here, but so far actually not as punished as you would expect.
Yeah. But is Squid going to manage to take out their 7th stock of the match? No, not quite with that uppercut. Manta hanging on for dear life right now. Can't really give Rob too good of a recovery right there. Oh no! Okay, for those who didn't notice, I believe the axe actually hit the gyro and actually delayed the axe hitbox just a little bit for it to manage to hit Manta there. So I don't know if that was on purpose. I don't know if that was calculated, but either way, it worked out for Squid Plumber, who has just taken out their 7th stock. 7 deck.
Yeah, I mean, Squid Plumber now has done so much work. They're almost half a team in and of themselves. How they get back on stage here, yep, gets caught on the roll, the up smash. Very nice call out there by Manta. So Manta survives with 2 stocks. That means it's just Manta with 2 stocks and then Woodchuckman with 3. It's 5 stocks left here for LVC. Shenandoah, though, I mean,
7.
They have so much to work with because Squid Plumber literally took out a crazy amount of stocks here. We're going to take a look back again at a little bit of the action. Look at that, 139 here for Shenandoah's Squid Plumber, and this will be the last little interaction that they're going to get. Yeah. Forced to roll up. Actually, not really forced to roll up, but I think at high percent, like you don't really want to be caught jumping as Richter against the Rob, that's just going to get immediately checked. You can get down tilted and get nared. So, yeah, overall, really solid play by Squid Plumber. Again, 193rd at SmashCon. The second I saw that dude, I was like, okay, this is the player we have to look out for. And this is what we've talked about previously, right? We talked about this last week. Like, do you keep your best players in anchor?
Yep.
Or do you put them out first and just try to get as many stocks out of the way and make such a large margin that even good players can't make it up? That's exactly what Shenandoah just did, right? They put out Squid Plumber, who took out literally 7 stocks.
7.
So if you're a good player, like, you still might not be able to make up the margin that Squid Plumber has now created for Shenandoah, no matter how good you are, especially when you're getting counterpicked against in further matchups. So that strategy, pretty solid, and Squid Plumber certainly paying off there, doing a huge, I mean, critical damage to LVC.
Because now you're asking LVC to take out what? Their last 3 people to take out what, like 3-4 stocks each at this point? Which, taking off 3 stocks off of one person is hard enough as is, but having to do that back to back to back, especially when you're down 7 stocks, down 6 stocks, whatever the score is, that's a very hard ask for LVC. It's too early to say it's a wrap. I've been known to say things are over a little bit too early, but Dak, I think it might be a wrap for this first game.
It might be, but you never want to count anybody out. This is we have Bowser we're talking about here. There's any character that can, turn the tides and explode, it's Bowser, but it's one of those things where if you know the matchup, it's very rarely going to happen. And I'm really looking now at the remaining pools, the remaining character pool, right? You have Joker, who does very well against Bowser. You have Pac-Man, who can... favorite of these. But if you play the campy Yoshi and you throw out eggs and then you just, rising there as much as you can. Yeah, and actually I was going to say, like, maybe you just throw out the Yoshi now to, take away these 2 couple stocks, because Yoshi is a character that you don't want to have for later, so I'm not surprised that Igloo's now coming in, but Igloo could easily take these 2 stocks, no problem.
Absolutely, as we do see a quick 43% coming through for Igloo, trading with some projectiles right there. Hovering right over that egg, and we're going to see this is where that's where Rob I think is really, really good, right on the ledge, because you have that gyro, you have that down tilt, you have that delayed down air as well. A lot of options for Rob to get you, but you know what? Igloo managing to get back on stage, but you know what? Getting sent right back to the ledge. Whiffing 2 back airs. And now stage control belonging to Igloo. And they're just playing around on this left side, on this right side. Okay. Don't know about the egg toss. Tried to get them a little bit too high, but couldn't get much out of it.
Nice. Just a really good job there by Igloo, though, staying out of nair range pretty consistently. But that back air check is going to put you out for the count. So now it's 2 stocks even here. Of course, not 2 stocks even entirely, maybe number-wise, but 123% here for Manta. So they're going to be immediately taken out by another strong shot towards the side of the stage. That nair will definitely kill for sure. Up smash, absolutely, but that's a committal that Igloo probably doesn't need to go for at this point. The kill will come to you, especially off the nair. But Manta, though, continuing to keep the pressure on and now getting Igloo back into the corner. That back air still not going to do it, Rob. Still too heavy. 161. Those eggs, you have to be careful. That almost did it.
In my years of playing Smash, I don't think I've ever seen an egg actually KO someone off the top like that. But I have seen that nair KO people plenty of times, like we see right there with Igloo. And you know what? Despite this 4-stock lead for Shenandoah, if Manta can get out of this alive and narrow it down to only a 2-stock lead, Lebanon still very much has a chance in this game.
That's the thing, right? Like, despite all that work that was done, like, 4 stocks as a player in a third, right? So it's still a lot of work, but it's like crazy to think, like, okay, it's 7 stocks we're taking, but it's only a 4-stock lead at the end of the day, and that's Manta doing a good job here so far. But yeah, this will be an 8-3 situation here if Manta's unable to confirm this last kill, and they are just kept very good job there. Yeah, Igloo forcing a little bit of like, all right, if you're I'm gonna throw eggs, you're gonna jump. Well, I got a big forward air waiting for you.
And some conditioning we saw as well coming through from Igloo. Like you said, there's a lot of egg tosses when we saw Manta trying to recover. I think Manta might have been expecting another egg toss right there, but yeah, got forward aired. So really good conditioning coming through from Igloo. Now it is now an 8-3 lead for Shenandoah, and they only have, what, Bowser, I think you said, left?
I believe so, unless
which is
Woodchuckman unless Woodchuckman has another character up their sleeve. And yeah, you just get caught, jumping in disadvantage there. I mean, it's understandable. That's kind of almost like a reflex for Rob, so just like do the snake thing at sometimes, just go all the way up to the upper blast zone and like, all right, I'm just gonna go avoid you entirely, but certainly risky when the Yoshi's already conditioning you to jump and whatnot with the egg toss. And not only that, they were definitely, want to avoid the rising there if you did regular get up or roll in, which also would have killed. So you're really in a bad position there as Rob, especially being a big body. I almost think maybe the best opportunity there is to like just fade back off the ledge and try to throw out forward air or try to laser or try to gyro a little bit and just give yourself some space. But of course, hindsight 2020. So now we have our last player here for LVC. It will be Woodchuckman, and they are up against the remainder of Igloo stocks, Moon Lady's full 3 stocks, and Kip's full 3 stocks. So
yikes.
Right now, it's looking pretty good for Shenandoah, but, never say never.
And if this is a Bowser like we're predicting, granted, Bowser not the best character in the world, but if there is a character that can take out 8 stocks, it's Bowser is definitely one of them.
You think so? You think Bowser could take 8 stocks? 8 stocks, man.
I'm not saying it's going to happen.
Claim.
I'm just saying, if there's any character that can do it, Bowser's, I think, one of them. I don't think it's going to happen. So? If I was a betting man, I would definitely not bet on that happening. But you know what? Hey, I don't want to lose faith yet. I've seen some crazy stuff before.
Well, you know what? We're going to see it right now as we are looking into our last remaining player for LVC. Remember, LVC is 2-0. So Shenandoah looking to take them out at the knees here, put them down at 2-1, which would make Shenandoah also tie with them at 2-1 here in the East 3 Conference. This is a nice little Pennsylvania versus Virginia matchup here. So geographically, I'm sure some of these players might have even played each other or have been around, near each other. Maybe it's Smash Cons, right? Like they all went to Smash Con. Might have even been playing nearby or playing each other. But these are the games that matter as we jump back in. Game 5 between this matchup here, NACE Starleague 2022 fall season. And it's Woodchuckman's Bowser indeed up against Igloo's 2 stocks here on Yoshi.
And right now we're going to see the up B out of shield from Bowser. That's really the Bowser special. Be prepared to see that coming out quite a bit if Woodchuckman actually manages to land. Here we go, the down throw, get another up air. About 3 or 4 up airs we've already seen, and tried to go for that KO immediately with that forward smash. Not sure if that would have KO'd Bowser being the heaviest character in the game, but it would have definitely left a mark. And right now, Igloo sitting at 67%. We might start to see Woodchuck look for a hard read, just like that one right there, trying to get this KO early. That forward tilt, trying to mix up the eye just a little bit, couldn't quite do it. Swinging for the fences with that up smash, and you know what? This looked like it was going to be all Igloo early on, but that's the power of Bowser. One of those characters where, you know what, no matter how far ahead you are, you're not so far ahead where they can't make a comeback, as that's going to be a stock right there as we see that side B coming through.
Yeah, Igloo definitely has to be careful in the space there. Those back airs are going to easily be punished by Bowser out of shield. And of course, a lot of these landings too are getting hit by, Whirling Fortress, which is, pretty commonplace. But that's the biggest issue, right? Is that when you're trading and you're boxing with Yoshi in a crew battle situation, in a single situation, fine. But in a crew battle situation where like you can't afford to lose any stock, especially when you're down by 7-2 here. Unfortunately, Woodchuckman already put down. So that means if Woodchuckman gets this next one, they have to. They have essentially a stock per remaining player on Shenandoah, right? Like,
yeah,
they can only afford to die once against Kip. Only can afford to die once against Moon Lady. As Bowser, when you're putting your body on the line for almost every single exchange, it's extremely hard to avoid taking damage. Even though your damage output is likely higher, you're still likely taking damage to get to that point. And in a crew battle situation like this, you can't afford to really get hit at any point.
Yeah, because like I said, every single stock, every single point of damage you take really is going to matter. Now that's going to be another stock right there. We do see Woodchuckman manage to get out of this with 2 stocks. I would have loved to see them make it out with 3. But you said, like, yeah, now basically 1 stock each for the next 2 potential matches, which is potentially Moon Lady with the Joker and Kip with the Pac-Man. 2 things that, if those are the characters, that does not look very good for Bowser at all whatsoever.
No, it doesn't, right? Both characters can camp, can zone. Joker can obviously combo can combo Bowser. I mean, Pac-Man can even combo Bowser to an extent, and also make Bowser's recovery like non-existent. So this is gonna be tough. Again, you have one stock per player here, right? Like Woodchuckman can die once to this next player and then has to get a 3 stock the next one. And we're gonna see a little bit more of this action here with an awesome replay brought to you by all of our awesome sponsors here in NACE Starleague. And this is just trying to box with Yoshi. You're gonna take the damage, but the spacing, unfortunately, we saw a lot of down airs and a lot of back airs come out, and they were just pretty too close for comfort, especially against Bowser as a command grab.
And I really think whoever the next person is, they're going to definitely have to be wary of that command grab. Joker and Pac-Man, not the heaviest of characters, so we might be seeing some side Bs getting some KOs relatively early, especially on depending on what stage we pick. Speaking of stages, if I'm Bowser, I probably don't want to go somewhere flat, just based on the fact that I want those Bowser bombs to kind of KO early off the platforms. But at the same time, when you're Bowser and you have platforms and you're playing a character against a character like Joker, like Pac-Man, who are good at taking advantage of those platforms, it's a double-edged sword. It's kind of the stage gives and the stage takes. So I'm just trying to think of what I would do if I was in the position of picking the stage here. I don't know if I want to go somewhere flat. I definitely don't want to go somewhere flat.
No, you're just gonna get coast to coasted. Honestly, at this, I would go Smashville. Like the smaller the stage, the better. You want to get those close. Like you want to be able to kill earlier. You don't want to get zoned out as hard. It's a double-edged sword, of course, because that means they don't have to really close the gap on you very much either to start getting combos going. But I mean, that's my thinking a lot of the time. Is like Ridley, for example. Like I want to be able to close the gap as the player myself and kill earlier. So that's what I would probably do. I would try to do like Smashville or Small Battlefield for me, but we'll see. I mean, there's still a little bit of time. I think we might just see the Joker right out of the gate here just to like get this over with, but the Pac-Man might be the safer choice. I think we are going to see the Pac-Man though. There it is. So yeah, so just have Kip get the Pac-Man damage in, and then if you really need it, the Joker, Moon Lady, 285th at Smash Con will certainly get the job done.
Again, Dak, call me crazy, but I don't think I think they have a chance. I think Lebanon has a chance. Call me crazy, okay? I think they have a chance.
I appreciate it, man. Like, if anyone's gonna believe that, man, I mean, why not?
I believe, but yeah, Woodchuckman has a very, very hard battle right here against this Pac-Man. Was doing pretty well for a bit, but you know what? Starting to get grabbed, starting to get hit by projectiles too. And the thing about Pac-Man, one of those characters that just racks on damage in a hurry, like we are seeing right here. I feel like Bowser was at 0% like 10 seconds ago. Now we're already at 129 and almost losing a stock.
Right, all these different items that Pac-Man can play with. There's just a wall that Bowser has to get through. And their general game plan of like trying to throw out short hop forward air as Bowser is pretty nullified because of everything that Pac-Man can throw out. But Pac-Man can also, in the neutral game without items, box pretty well with Bowser, right? Like you have solid nair or solid aerials, nair's really good, and then you could up B if you really need to get out of something dodgy. So it's hard. Bowser really has a tough time in this matchup getting any kind of momentum going, and really they have to rely on just like these really big reads and hits that they can try to land here to get an early kill.
And I feel like in a matchup where you need really big reads and the opponent doesn't, that's going to spell death for you a lot of the times. As we do see a side B, okay, that's one stock from Woodchuckman right there at 169%. And Bowser can live a really long time, but we're definitely getting to that percent where I'm thinking a back air, maybe even a back throw near the ledge might actually manage to get a KO. But if they can hold on to at least one stock and take out these two, oh lord, jeez, if they can hold on to this stock and take out these two from Kip, they have a chance. Again, I wouldn't bet on it, but I believe.
Oh, risky down airs here too, but I like it by Woodchuckman. Trying to amplify a little bit of that high ground advantage that they had. And that's the big committal there, right? Like Bowser throwing out forward to try to get rid of Hydra, and you immediately get hit by the Galaga. So that's something you gotta, or maybe it's the Galaxian. I haven't played in a little while, but yeah.
Either way,
you have to.
Galaxy something.
Yeah, it's one or the other. I know Galaga and Galaxian, at least, but I'm sure someone can check me on that. Nice, gonna get the back throw off there. So, but Pac-Man has no problem just hanging out off stage if need be, which is another big problem in this matchup, is that Bowser can't go off stage very reliably and avoid getting hurt. So it's again a place where Kip, like, look at that, like, oh, can get forward air, but Pac-Man can just kind of like be really slippery off stage and not get hit. Though I like that. Again, another Whirling Fortress coverage on the back end to get up onto stage. And then that Flame Breath doing some more damage. Forward tilt would kill here, but so does the up tilt as well. And now an opportunity here. Woodchuckman could get a nice little one-stock refresh. They're able to get a quick kill. They have a little bit of advantage state, but Kip gets back out, has the Hydrant out, and now Woodchuckman at 100% gets hit by the bell. Not enough.
This is one hard read from Woodchuckman from being game. One hard read is all Woodchuck needs, but you know what? At 125%, you can't really be playing around too much. Pac-Man is definitely capable of getting KOs right now. If they do manage to get a bell, if Kip does get a bell, which I think they're going to start to look for, yep, there it is. That would have been game if it landed, but again, Woodchuckman, one hit away. One hard read away from going into that last game against Moon Lady and potentially bringing this back. Like I said, Dak, I believe. Never mind.
Caster's Curse, man. I mean, I don't even know it's Caster's Curse. That was a Caster's Prophecy right there. Like, you were just putting it into motion. I'm not even surprised. So,
I was trying to will it into existence.
That means Shenandoah take that first game here up against Lebanon Valley College. They didn't even have to bring out Moon Lady to do so. So, now we're going to see, will it be LVC coming back with a different order, different characters? We're going to see a little bit of that action here. Towards the end, the bell coverage, crazy. And at 156, there's very little you can do to stay alive.
Yeah. We're going to see what that forward smash, I believe, coming out right after this landing here. But yeah, honestly, this coverage coming through from Pac-Man, covering with the apple, covering with the fire hydrant, threatening the bell right there as well, just putting putting Woodchuckman through all the motions. It's so hard to guess what Pac-Man is going to do because of the amount of tools they have. Again, there's so much coverage options, fire hydrant, the various amount of items they can call. Up out of shield as well is another really decent tool that we didn't see. But yeah, either way, Kip doing very, very well. But we are going to take a quick 5-minute break as we prep for game 2. So everybody, we are going to have some more NACE Starleague Fall 2022 season coming right back after a quick little break. Hello everybody and welcome back to the NACE Starleague Fall 22 season. You are watching the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate portion of the tournament. This is collegiate crew battles and we just saw game 1 of Shenandoah University against Lebanon Valley College. Shenandoah getting off to an incredible start in that first game. We saw Squid Plumber, the Richter player, taking out 7 stocks. Seven, that's not a typo, 7, 5 plus 2 stocks, and putting Shenandoah in a really, really good spot to open up the match, which kind of leads me into my next point. Dak, do you just do it again? Do you just send Squid Plumber in again and just do the same thing?
That's a good question. Because if I'm LVC, right, if I'm Lebanon Valley, I'm thinking that they're going to do that, so maybe they play Manta first, right? They play the Rob out of the gate again, or they go with T-Stew. So I don't know if you put Squid Plumber in first because Squid Plumber already established themselves as being able to do a lot of work, right? So you might want to see what Lebanon Valley is going to play first. I would honestly put in Moon Lady, to be honest. Yeah. Moon Lady hasn't played yet, and Joker is a character that you can kind of blind pick into a lot of other characters, if not most of them. So you put Moon Lady in, see how far they get on the Joker, and then once you start to have issues there, then you put Squid Plumber in, and you just kind of cook up the rest. That, to be fair, would leave them with Yoshi and Pac-Man, but considering how well both Igloo and Kip played, respectively, I wouldn't really be too concerned with that. So that's what I would do. I'm expecting to see Moon Lady as the Joker come out first, and then they put in Squid Plumber after they have a better idea of what's left on LVC's bench. So that's what I would do. But I would also not be surprised if Squid Plumber just comes right back in and does the same thing twice.
I would imagine that LVC right now is, prepping for Squid Plumber to come in again. Maybe that first match, that first set, they were a little bit cold. Maybe that hot start kind of shook them a little bit. But now, you know what? They've played the match. They understand what's coming. Maybe they calmed down a bit. We actually saw last week, we saw a similar thing where I forget the school, but won the first game by 9 stocks, and then in game 2, the other team came back and whittled it down to, I think they only ended up losing by like 3 or something like that, something crazy like that. So you know what? We've seen it before. I fully expect LVC to be a bit more prepped for this match. Maybe we see a character change here or there. Honestly, if Woodchuckman has someone other than Bowser, it's probably the time to go with it, because no matter who you send in against Shenandoah, it's a bad matchup for Bowser, whether it's Belmont, Joker, Pac-Man, or Yoshi. Not looking too good for Bowser either way. So if I'm Woodchuckman, maybe I send in my secondary, if you do have a secondary. But yeah, if I'm Shenandoah, I think I agree. I think maybe I send in Moon Lady right now. It's the only person that Lebanon Valley hasn't seen yet. And if they are prepping for Squid Plumber to come back in, seeing a different character in Joker, completely different from Belmont, might throw them off just a little bit, so they might kind of get a little bit of that psychological edge, if you will.
Well, speaking of characters and players coming in first, we actually do know who is going to be played first here. So it is going to be Moon Lady going in first for Shenandoah. They're actually going to be going Byleth and not Joker. I see that they had played Joker, but I didn't see the Byleth, but okay, not a bad pick either. And then we are going to see LVC playing Manta first with the Rob. So pat myself on the back right there. But yeah, so that's not too much of a surprise for me. Like, Manta was certainly playing really well. Rob, again, another character that you can kind of blind pick into others. And then Byleth, I wouldn't say you can do that as strongly as Joker, but I think considering Moonley hasn't played yet, results wise shouldn't have any issue. 285th at SmashCon, a player that they were not only that, I think the biggest takeaway and kind of key indicator here is Moon Lady was the anchor, so they definitely have faith in their ability to compete. So I'm not surprised to have them now come in first, but you have the Byleth versus Rob, and then I would not be surprised to see Squid Plumber come in to try to clean up and see what they can do and sweep after Moon Lady does some crazy damage. But it's up to Manta to try to swing things in favor of Lebanon Valley College to start things off here in Game 2.
And Moon Lady off to an amazing start already with a 30% lead in the opening of this match. And oh my god, I'm losing my train of thought because that conversion from Moon Lady was fantastic, building up another 50 or so percent off of one interaction. Incredible display there from Moon Lady. But you know what? Manta fighting back just a little bit, inching back, trying to get that back air. And this is where Rob thrives. Oh, hey, you know what, Dak? Never mind. Hey, I don't know what I'm talking about. As soon as I said, this is where Rob thrives, Moon Lady heard me and told me to shut up because I don't know what I'm talking about clearly, as we see that upbeat spike, which you don't see very, very often, and that has to be tilting to get hit by that if you're Manta.
Oh, absolutely. And now they're just, they're not working back from a crazy deficit here, though. That up smash definitely would have killed. That back air does kill. So this is the even start that LVC certainly wants to have here, considering they lost 7 stocks to the first player of the last match. Another down air stock kill, another spike from the down air from Moon Lady to now have a pretty solid, almost full stock lead here against Manta, who is the Rob, right? Like, if we're thinking about character pools here, we have Yoshi, Falco, and Bowser left, that they stay with their previous characters. Rob is their biggest investment, and Manta's already down to 1 stock.
Yo, Moon Lady's Byleth is looking MKLeo-esque right now with these conversions. This is an incredible Byleth that I'm seeing right now, a character that's very good, but you don't see too often, unfortunately, as they go for that forward smash tipper, which definitely would have KO'd. That tipper sweet spot on that forward smash is a stupidly powerful move.
Oh, and
right now,
killed,
Moon Lady swinging for the fences.
That's risky. That's what killed Manta last time, and now they're just running out of fuel. No gas left in the tank, and they get shook enough to die that way. Moon Lady takes it with a nice 2 stock there, and that was a solid start there for Shenandoah once again.
It's very rare you see Rob die off the bottom without getting, like, spiked or something like that. So, yeah, again, just running out of gas in the end there, Manta. But, man, Moon Lady, that was one of the most incredible displays of Byleth that I've ever seen. MKLeo aside, that was incredible. Controlled the stage, controlled the ledge completely. And I think this is going to be, that last stock here. Very rare you see Robs just run out of gas and just fall off the bottom like that, but might have been a little bit scared of getting upbeat again, like we saw on that first stock.
That was odd too, because it felt like they would have had a lot more fuel left to work with there, and they seemed to run out pretty quickly. Maybe they didn't have enough in the previous exchange, but overall, Moon Lady was conditioning the Rob to kind of shield way more than you kind of expect. So they were getting a shield poked at times, getting grabbed a lot, and then catching landings really well with forward tilt and dash attack from Byleth. So overall, kind of smothering the Rob a little bit. Did drop 1 stock, but once the momentum started going in Moon Lady's favor, it really didn't stop. And it was really, really hard for Manta to kind of get some breathing room, especially in the air. Byleth, massive hitboxes, and Rob really has a hard time avoiding those, and didn't really have enough space generated from the gyro to keep things a little slower and, a bit more in their favor. So that means we are now down to 3 players here for LVC. Shenandoah looking to make themselves 2-1 and make Lebanon 2-1 as well going into the second matchup. And remember, Shenandoah still has Squid Plumber in the wings, but they don't have a Rob to deal with now. Manta's already out, so Squid Plumber already showed what they can do against the Yoshi, against the Falco. Like, this is something that Squid Plumber has already proven that they can handle, and now LVC stuck without, on paper, their best character.
Yeah, definitely the biggest threat to Shenandoah and to Squid Plumber, that Rob off the table. So, again, man, I keep saying it's over. I don't want to say it's over just yet, but yeah, the biggest threat definitely gone. A much easier path for Squid Plumber whenever they do opt to send Squid Plumber in. Now, maybe you kind of hold them for anchor right now, or maybe, again, because the biggest threat is gone, do you just send Squid Plumber in right now? We've seen them take out 7 stocks. There's no doubt in my mind that in the right kind of state of mind that they could probably take out 9 too, especially against the character pool that's left. So I'm really excited to see who they send in next. Either way, no matter who they do send in next, honestly, there's really no wrong answer though.
Certainly no wrong answer. It's going to be really come down to, like, okay, can we get rid of these 2 Moon Lady stocks and not die, right? Like, that's the biggest thing, because if you can do that, you'll reset things to 9-9. That's exactly what we'd like to have. And sure, Squid Plumber is waiting in the wings, but I could also see Squid Plumber maybe playing anchor now, right? And just like, okay, we're not going to, immediately play our cards as quickly as last time, which generally seems to be how these screw battles have gone, at least compared to last week. Like, you may have, like, your strongest player go first the first match, but the second match you play a bit more strategically because you know the other team is also making adjustments. And I'm sure even Shenandoah, like, this is not at all as wide of a gap as the previous crew battle. So they do have to be a bit careful, right? And this isn't, easily said and done. This is certainly not a guarantee, even if they have Squid Plumber ready to go. As much as Squid Plumber is a good player, they're also still, Richter, right? So that's a character that doesn't have free reign in a lot of matchups and can get counterpicked a little bit. And we don't know if LVC is going to have their players change characters, which is also big. So they do have to be careful when they play, their Exodia, so to speak, right? They still have to, make sure that that's all ready and pieced together beforehand and have that win condition ready to go. So Shenandoah, LVC, we jump into our second game here of match 2 in this best of 3 crew battle here at NACE Starleague. And it will be the Yoshi Doink coming out for Lebanon Valley College.
Definitely of the remaining characters, Falco, Bowser, Yoshi, I do think Yoshi probably the best option to go up against this Byleth here. But man, the way... wrong. I'm assuming we probably picked the wrong stage. So we're just going to quickly reset that. But yeah, if we're going to... It is going to be Doink versus this Byleth. And yeah, of the remaining characters, I really do think Yoshi best option. Could challenge the Byleth off stage a little bit better. Well, not a little bit better, a lot better than both Falco and Bowser can. If you manage to avoid that Byleth up B, neutral air is going to be a fantastic tool off stage against Byleth, whose recovery is very good vertically, not the best horizontally. So be able to kind of push them to the side a little bit with that neutral air is going to be really, really good. But at the same time, Byleth has that neutral air, which is a very good multi-hit. Not going to be able to double jump armor out of that if you're Yoshi, and once that armor is gone, you're kind of baby food to get comboed by Byleth. So we'll see how this goes.
That's really the big ticket there, right? Is trying to make sure you don't burn all your super armor just trying to get in. Like, of course it's necessary a lot of the time, but when you get caught without your jump, Byleth has the range to follow up and get rid of you here. So, and also, of course, the arrow, right? The bow and arrow is going to be massive. You have that to deal with any Yoshi that wants to start camping with egg toss, right? So when you have that to work with, it's going to be really difficult to kind of play that counter zoner play from Yoshi to keep Byleth out.
Oh man, but with the way Doink is playing right now, I don't think those projectiles are even going to be a factor. Doing a really good job of zone breaking, but you know what? Right there, we're going to see Moon Lady rack on some damage and almost bring it back to a dead even game. Okay, down airs right there, not enough to get anything going. Whiffing on that up air after the combo starter, but we might... Oh, cool. I thought that was actually going to be a stock right there. I thought the forward smash was coming out, but you know what? Moon Lady actually holding onto shield and not really giving Doink anything to work with.
No, but these egg tosses are actually landing pretty consistently
Fantastic.
here. I like that, Doink is catching Moon Lady's jumps in neutral. That up smash, though, finds Doink.
Jump.
And yeah, that's what you're going to be... That's called catching a jump there for sure. And now it's a 2-2 situation here. Moon Lady, though, Shenandoah, they're up 3 in stocks. This would be big for Doink to kind of even the odds.
And whiffing on that forward smash, that definitely would have been a stock ender right there. Definitely needed it. And Doink just kind of swinging for the fences. No, wait. Oh, jeez. Okay. I thought they lost stock there. But Doink kind of just swinging for the fences right here with those smash attacks. And once again, Moon Lady also swinging for the fences. You know what? They can hold forward A2 as we see Doink lose another stock. But there we go. Moon Lady finally losing theirs. But this is a fantastic start once again for Shenandoah University. We're about to see Moon Lady potentially take out, what, 6 stocks? Potentially?
Yeah, that would be pretty critical considering Moon Lady is now at 72%. So to get that percentage reset would be great. But so far, I mean, a lot of this game has been about like, okay, who am I gonna who can punish harder? Because we're seeing a lot of unsafe moves from both sides. And Moon Lady now taking Doink to the cleaners, looking to carry things out with another kill, and they do off the top. Moon Lady survives with that last stock and will take 6 stocks now. Now, I mean, this is, I'm having a little bit of deja vu here, Mies.
You couldn't see my face during that last like 20 seconds.
I saw it at the end.
I was like stank facing so hard. Oh my god! Whatever Byleth lands that down air, it just sounds so painful. Like it makes me clench up every single time I hear it. As we get into this replay, getting that up air, couldn't quite get anything. And you know what? When Yoshi doesn't have a double jump, it's very, very challenging for the character to land, as we saw Moon Lady just wait for that Yoshi bomb and getting that that forward smash, that really powerful forward smash out in the end there. But yeah, we saw that last, what, like 15-ish seconds, I want to say, 10 seconds maybe, of Moon Lady was just complete domination from beginning to end there, as they do manage to take out, what, 6 stocks? Yeah. So in game 1, we saw Belmont, we saw Squid Plumber come in, take out 7. We saw Moon Lady Not quite taking out 7. Not quite having
nearly there
left,
though. Nearly there.
But basically, they're taking out 6 immediately, and they still have 3 characters left. Still have 3 players left, including Squid Plumber, who, like I just said, took out 7 stocks. So right now, if I'm living on Valley College, I don't even know what I do at this point.
I mean, what I would really like to see from their players, we're seeing a lot of unsafe moves, right? Like, I mean, the Yoshi bomb right there, never want to do that. We were seeing kind of a little bit with Woodchuckman with their down airs. Like, there are a lot of moves where you're just giving your opponent the opportunity to get right back into it or kill you, right? And a lot of the time, good players are just waiting for you to make a mistake, right? Whether it's a completely unsafe move or it's a slightly unsafe move on shield, which just doesn't get it back out in time. That kind of stuff adds up. So that's what I really want to see from LVC here is like play a much safer game, which is it's understandable because it's hard to do that, the balance of like play safe, but also punish and be aggressive when you need to. But being unsafe is probably, worse than not being aggressive or taking in opportunities at all. Because we're seeing a lot of these these situations where, I mean, Moon Lady didn't really have to do a lot of work on that last stock. No. It was kind of just punishing and getting a lot of conversions off of that. So now here we go, last 2 players, and one of them here is Woodchuckman, which means T-Stu will be the anchor for Lebanon Valley College. Shenandoah up 10-6. Moon Lady has taken out 6 stocks, has only dropped 2, and now they're in a matchup which could easily land to another more stocks taken here by Moon Lady.
I was about to say look, if you need 1 stock taken, Bowser's a character that you definitely want in your pocket. But you know what? At the same time, this potentially has the ability to be another 3 or 2 stocks from Moon Lady. Just looking at this matchup on paper, as we're seeing Moon Lady getting 79% without being touched and without Woodchuckman being able to do anything. And I clinched up there. I thought that was going to be a stock. Well, yeah, quick 0. Okay, there you go. Finally, some 16% onto Moon Lady, but this is not looking good at all for Woodchuckman as we see this next game get into its opening stages.
Opening stages indeed. I mean, Woodchuckman is already close to kill percent here. Nice Whirling Fortress to keep things nice and clean on the pressure-wise on Moon Lady, who gets hit by the up smash. The forward tilt also going to check. A little bit of a teabag at the corner. I'm sure it was not what they meant, but we got it nonetheless. A subconscious teabag. And, nice. Reverse up tilt going to be blocked there. Moon Lady keeping it nice and clean on the stage and off stage as well as they go for another one. The up B pull into the spike. And that is going to be another big damage play by Moon Lady, which now puts Moon Lady at 7 stocks taken in this game. And absolutely, at this point, if Squid Plumber can do it, Moon Lady has done it as well as they lose their last stock. But what a performance.
You couldn't see me. When that spike
I
hit,
couldn't.
I damn near got out my chair. I damn near got out my chair. That was an incredible read from Moon Lady as they do take out 7 stocks, back-to-back 7 stock openings for Shenandoah University. And again, they still have Squid Plumber. They still have, but maybe their best player waiting in the wings. So you know what? Honestly, if I'm Shenandoah, I think I'd send them in. It's Bowser and Falco left. We've seen what you can do against both those characters already. At this point, I think just send Squid Plumber in, finish it off, and just have a end of this game with a dominating lead, I should say.
See, on my end, I'm almost thinking hey, keep Squid Plumber as your anchor. Let's get Kip and Igloo back in to get a little bit more play time and see what they can do. Because we've already seen Squid Plumber can get the job done. So as the anchor, would not be surprised if, even if Kip gets 3 stocked and Igloo gets 3 stocked, I could still see Squid Plumber winning this. So I would, if I'm on Shenandoah, I would hold that investment. I would hold a little longer, see that value rise up and see Igloo, Kip, they're going to tenderize the remaining players. They're going to put him down, bloody him up a little bit, and then Squid Plumber comes in and sweeps. So that's my prediction. Again, I want to see, LVC playing a bit safer. They know what's on the line here. They have 2 players left. They want to keep that perfect record on the books. But right now, Shenandoah, honestly, man, what I'm thinking here is Shenandoah is really good. How good is Quinnipiac?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Quinnipiac 2-0'd this team, and Shenandoah is now potentially going to 2 LVC. So I'm I can't wait to see Quinnipiac play.
before we went on break after game 1, I was actually gonna bring that up because I was just so impressed by that game 1. Squid Plum right now, I guess Moon Lady as well, that I was thinking, yeah, who beat this team? How good are they? If this is like, I think 2 of the best players we've seen all tournament long, and someone 2-0'd them. This is like, so I'm just like, yeah, thinking how good is the team that beat them, but hopefully we get to see them later on in the season. But yeah, I think, yeah, if I'm Shenandoah right now, I feel like there's really no wrong answer. I feel like Yoshi is, I guess, the lead, sitting in Igloo is like the least good answer. Either way, if you send in Pac-Man, you send in Simon Richter against Bowser, like it, no matter which way you kind of spin it, that's a W for you, in my opinion. So we'll see how this goes. We'll see how this goes. I feel like Igloo's probably I say worst, but at least a good choice though.
I think we're gonna end up seeing Igloo come right in here. Would not be surprised. I'm sure Shenandoah is thinking about how they run this, because again, not guaranteed. Especially when you have Bowser, who can really turn the tides, as we mentioned. I think T-Stu as the anchor is honestly what they're probably worried about, because Falco can definitely cook. And against Pac-Man, I mean, Yoshi, I think Pac-Man and Yoshi do decent. I mean, I think Falco is a really good choice against the Richter. We saw that last time and was able to do some good combo work. So I think that's really what Shenandoah is trying to do, is try to like, okay, like, let's get in a position where if we have Falco, you know, we have T-Stu versus Squid Plumber, that we're at still a pretty significant advantage. So, you know, whether that's, you know, only 1 stock left for T-Stu or whatever, that's kind of when they want to eventually play Squid Plumber, is what I have to imagine. And hopefully we do jump into this next one, because this is getting down to the nitty gritty for sure, especially for LVC. They're 2-0 and they're about to be another one of these teams with a single loss. Shenandoah looking to make themselves 2-1 in this conference as well.
And yeah, and unfortunately for Shenandoah, it does look like they're primed to win this game, because going down or being 1-2 this early in the season, there is still five or so weeks left before the last chance and like the playoffs and everything start. But you definitely do not want to be 1-2 this early in the season and be forced to win basically all the rest of your games just to have a chance to make the playoffs. But yeah, they're looking like they're probably going to be 2-1 after this. If all things kind of go according to plan. As we get into this game 4, and they are sending in. You were right. They are sending in Igloo.
I've been pretty good on my picks today.
You're like perfect. You're like a good 3 for 3.
Hey today. Man, I know these collegiate crew battles. I know how it goes. All right, so here we go. Yeah, Igloo coming out against Woodchuckman. They have a 4 stock lead. This is where we kind of were last series, though. We had a player for Shenandoah do an incredible amount of work, about a 4 stock lead for LBC to make up, and now Shenandoah can be a bit more flexible with the rest of their bench. But look at this start here. Woodchuckman is kind of getting, you know, sent to the flame a little bit against Igloo, who has taken 3.5% so far in the first 40 seconds or so of this game, and just that I was hoping for the shield break, but yeah, we got the nice power shield there.
Yeah, like you said, just off to an incredible start, Igloo is. But you know what? Bowser able to rack on a lot of damage very, very quick. I thought the up smash was going to come, but nice forward tilt to kind of just check Igloo's approach there. Coming through from Woodchuckman, and we're getting to the point where one up smash or forward smash might be it. But you know what? Igloo knew that as well. Does manage to get an up smash to take a stock. 68%, relatively healthy against most characters in the game, but against Bowser, you're basically at death percent.
Yeah, basically. 88%, you'd still now have to be considerably careful.
Ouch.
That's that down air again. I mean, I think Woodchuckman has been safer with these down airs, like almost kind of, well, I was going to say, almost only using them when he knows that they know that this is going to land, but then, of course, I am proven wrong there. All right, now I feel like I'm getting trolled. I feel like I'm getting trolled like that, but this is what's happening a lot, I think, from the LBC players. Like, they are committing really hard to moves that, like, don't have a massive reward, but have, like, massive, like, just consequences for using them. And at this point, you can't afford.
I don't want to say it's desperate, but it does kind of reek of desperation a little bit, as we see another down there, almost SDing there. It does kind of reek of desperation to me. Like you said, just going for these high-risk moves where the reward really isn't going to be enough, as we see a shield break, and that is going to be game, set, and match for Igloo right there. Woodchuckman going out, and you know what? Now Lebanon Valley College only has T-Stu and the Falco left, and Shenandoah still has 3 players all ready to go. But yeah, right there we saw, as soon as you mentioned the downers coming through from Bowser, we started to see them started to come out all willy-nilly. Maybe they're a little bit of drift on that controller, some downward drift on that controller or something. But we definitely saw a lot of downers coming through right when you said it. We're gonna see that's the side B, and I think this is the shield break to end it, I believe. Right there, getting that Yoshi bomb, charging up that up smash, letting it rip, and that is going to be game. That's, even though we got that one shield break, we almost had another shield break earlier actually, but we did see that power shield come through from Woodchuckman. But that could have been 2 shield breaks in one match, which you don't see very often.
Could have been, yeah. And when you're in a situation where I know how much is on the line here, and you're kind of scared, you don't want to really leave shield. I've been there, right? And that's when you get blown up a little bit. So T-Stu, wait in the wings, no pun intended. Falco ready to go. And yep, I know, I'm sorry. And the last character here, Yoshi against Falco. I don't know. That could go either. I'm not sure how you feel about that one, but I'm really looking more so towards, okay, the Falco still has to deal with Squid Plumber, which, to be fair, T-Stu did pretty well against the Richter, right? So that I'm not too worried about. It's the Pac-Man, right?
Yep.
You got to have that reflector ready to go on the items. Laser can certainly deal with Pac-Man stuff. So this is still a massive hill to climb here for T-Stu. But is it impossible? No, I don't think so.
Definitely not impossible. Falco, one of those characters we've seen, like we both watched Tilde. Once Falco gets cooking, it is like this runaway train that is just off the tracks, and no one can stop that thing with the amount of damage, the amount of confirms this character has. Once you're in that kind of sweet spot in between like 50 to like 40 to like 80-ish%, once you're in the kind of that sweet spot, the amount of stuff this character can do, it's like an unskippable cutscene. You get hit by once, and it's just like you keep mashing A to get out of it, and you just can't do it. And before you know it, you're 0 to like 120, and your stock is gone. That is the stuff that Falco is capable of. But on the other hand, because this character is so easy to combo, you can basically do the exact same thing right back to Falco. Not the best defensive character, not great at breaking out of stuff. Does have that reflector, which is going to be very useful against both Belmont and Pac-Man if those eventually come in. But they still have to get past Igloo first, who is looking fantastic after that first game we saw them in. And we're going to see that stock loss right there. Taunts to start the match, and here we go. Igloo opening up with a lot of aggression, near dash attack, and just keeping a lot of pressure on T-Stu right now.
Absolutely.
T-Stu backing off just a little bit, and you know what? There's some of the here's the Falco stuff I was talking about earlier. Couldn't get much off of it, but you know what? Couldn't get too much off of it. But after you get an up tilt like that, the potential for damage is basically unlimited.
Look at all this jumping here by Igloo, right? Like they just don't want to contend on the ground, and T-Stu's making them pay. Oof. And off that air dodge in makes it pay even more. T-Stu off to a very, very good start here against Shenandoah's Igloo.
And yeah, this is definitely not over yet, Dak. If T-Stu can take this one stock off without losing one, which looking like is definitely a possibility, Lebanon Valley is still definitely in this match.
Definitely. This is not over at all, and this is what I was saying. Like T-Stu this really right now, this is the critical point, because if T-Stu can get this kill without losing a stock, like, okay, now it's way more doable, even though Shenandoah still has a crazy amount of players left in all things considered. But playing it very smart. This is something that we even we saw it from both Doink and Igloo, kind of these somewhat unsafe aerials that you might be able to get away with in other matchups, but Falco is playing this slow, grounded game. Has the lasers, has the out of shield game ready to go, is grabbing a lot, and it's going to convert into a kill there as Igloo drops, and now it's 6-3.
And T-Stu played that matchup perfectly. With Falco, oftentimes it's kind of easy to kind of get lost in the sauce a bit. You know the crazy stuff this character can do, and you kind of go for it. You fish for a little bit too much, start fishing for those up tilts and those down tilts, because again, the combos this character can do is absolutely incredible. But T-Stu just opting to just throwing it out, camping a lot, popping lasers, waiting for Igloo to approach, and is getting some ticky-tack hits here and there, building up enough damage to eventually get that up throw into up air KO. So you know what? Fantastic job from T-Stu. Played that perfectly. What, against Belmont and against Pac-Man, whichever way Shenandoah opts to go, it's not going to be as easy to camp, because you know what? They can camp just as well, if not better, than you can.
Now I don't really know which way it's going to go. You're right. Like, they can definitely camp you out. It's Squid Plumber, on, you know, from what we've seen, might be the slightly better player than Kip, but Pac-Man might have the better matchup against Falco. Absolutely. So Pac-Man's not going to get, just by the nature of how Pac-Man plays, Pac-Man's not going to get caught in Falco combos as often as Richter is. But Squid Plumber has shown their prowess on the Richter. So do you keep, like, it's the risk of, do you keep Squid Plumber as your anchor and then be forced to have Falco Richter at the end in a situation where the Falco come out on top? Or do you play the Richter early and potentially not take off as many stocks as you need? So I don't know. This is actually, again, this is not looking as bad for Lebanon Valley College as did the previous match, but it's also a game of numbers, right? It's a massive margin to climb. Like, just the work that Moon Lady did earlier in the match means T-Stu would have to be playing out of their mind. They got to take 6 stocks, right? Like, that is a big ask. And at that point, it's, you know, when you think about it, it is doable, because I mean, Moon Lady took 7, Squid Plumber took 7. Why can't T-Stu take 7? You know, take 6, right? It's doable, but on just the Falco, a character that, you know, might not be as oppressive. I don't know. You're gonna have to really be. You can't be missing your shots here, right? Yeah, not as oppressive, in a character that definitely relies on combos to get KOs more than just kind of a raw hit, though you do have a really good back air that is very solid getting KOs. Well, oftentimes you're going to see Falco look for either up tilt into back air, up throw into up air, things like that, strings that require multiple hits in order to get those KOs. And against a character like against characters like Pac-Man or Belmont, who just have big hits and big hitboxes that they can just KO you from halfway across the stage, it feels like that's going to be a struggle for Falco and for T-Stu to really to kind of go hit for hit and blow for blow with them, as we do see this game 6. And who are they sending in? It is going to be Kip with the Pac-Man. You are fantastic at calling things today, by the way. Oh, but once again, you said Pac-Man is going to be the better option. There we go. They know that too. Kip coming in, trying to close this match out, and oh my god, 48% off the rip. Wow. Kip came out of the gate hot right there, 61% already, and just kept that combo going coast to coast and back the other direction. That is just a great start here. I mean, of course, T-Stu has the 3 stocks themselves, and this is that's a really good call out there too, right? Because that's like the, you know, the little bit of like, oh, I got the counter to your counter. Like, okay, if Pac-Man's going to stand there and throw out items, well then Pac-Man, once they get the key, can immediately respond to those lasers from Falco.
Yep. And right now we're seeing Falco 130%, Pac-Man Kip only at 38. No, a little bit more now after that fire hydrant reflection. Right now, you know what? Kip took a lot of damage early, but since then has been playing a lot more patient, isn't really playing Pac-Man's game, is kind of just camping out Pac-Man just as much as he's getting camped out, and you know what? Has brought this back to a doable deficit. This is one good read away from being it, and we're going to see... That should have been a back air. That probably should have been a back air. But you know what? That down air coming through, putting on a lot of damage, and getting punished for going a little bit too ham there in the end. Kip, first stock going to Kip. But T-Stu coming right back and up smash it to get a stock of their own.
Absolutely. I think this is now where you're going to see things slow down a little bit. And then get things started here for Pac-Man. I mean, well, the slowdown is really what got that going, right? Like, all right, like, took a breather, realized, okay, like, Falco's almost playing too grounded for their own good, right? And now we have a situation where the Falco has to play from behind once again, and Kip is really controlling the pace of this game.
Yeah. And you know what? We're seeing T-Stu. Okay, T-Stu's playing really aggressive right now, and this is exactly how the first stock went. They were playing aggressively, and Kip kind of just bodied them for it, put on a lot of damage, and then we started to see T-Stu slow down a little bit and start to come back, and that is exactly what is going on as I say it. Again, starting off the stocks really aggressive, and then just slowing it down a bit in the end there. You see those lasers trying to get something with that fire hydrant, but getting punished for it. Shooting a couple lasers there to stop Pac-Man from potentially getting a bell. Oh, I lied. Did have the bell. Didn't even see that. That's probably going to be a stock. Oh, no. A little bit too late to pull the trigger there.
Oh, that's yeah. I was gonna say that's gonna be risky there with the hydrant rolling in as well. A little bit of a Marvel Fireball coming in with the assist, and that will land. Not gonna be enough. Pac-Man too heavy. Gets back in, lands with the up air, looking for the bell. Gonna land in, gets the re-grab, and nice down there to break right through that bell aggression. And it's T-Stu has Kip on the back foot here on this tail end of this stock.
Yeah, risky play there from T-Stu as they get bonked by that apple and lose a stock, but risky play. That down air clank with the bell, really, really, really smart. If that didn't work, then that would have spelled death for T-Stu there, but really glad that worked. Did end up losing that stock anyway, but taking one right back with that back air, and you know what? Kip still very much in this. Only one stock left, but oh god, never mind. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh no! That should be. Oh, I thought that was going to be death there if that was able to hit in, but that DI was kind of crazy there coming out from T-Stu. Now T-Stu on their last stock has to get this kill to give this even a chance. They want to get that reset and get rid and shed themselves of 106%, but Kip right now knows they have the win on their sights. He goes through, gets blocked the hydrant, creates some extra pressure there to get back on. And it's T-Stu who has Kip in the corner, but Kip has shown that they're very comfortable both on the platforms and in the corner, and now trying to seal things here and seal the deal on this match.
I think we're going to start to see T-Stu start to look for up tilts right here. Because up tilt into back here, I think, might actually be a KO off the side. So we're going to see them inch in closer and I think start to fish for an up tilt, or maybe even a down tilt or a down air into back air or something like that. Because we're at that percent. I even think with the rage where that might actually confirm still. Oh, no, dash attack, breaking through everything. Getting a forward air.
Should be it. Yep.
Yup, there we go. T-Stu just hanging on to this last stock for absolute dear life. Closing the gap a little bit. Now only down, 2 stocks to Shenandoah University. But now they are sending in the person that we all wanted to see. Squid Plumber, the Belmont, who took out 7 stocks in Game 1. This is going to be a very tall ask for T-Stu to take 3 stocks off of this Belmont without losing one of their own. But just on paper, I really feel like Falco is definitely capable of doing it, though. And same with T-Stu as well.
Certainly an opportunity here for Lebanon if I've ever seen one. Look at these combos, though. Kept making it look easy at times.
Yeah.
This is again what we saw last week in our first match, right? We kind of had a blowout match 1, and then match 2 of the series a lot closer, and it kind of came down to the wire. It came down to the last 2 players. We're seeing that exactly the same thing here. And I mean, shout outs entirely to T-Stu and Woodchuckman on the back half of this match, because Moon Lady took 7 stocks. That is that happened, right? And if you're looking at this now, you'd almost not even kind of realize that. But T-Stu on a single stock here has to deal with the Simon Richter Belmont combo potentially here. I mean, I'm looking at Squid Plumber. I don't think they have any other players or any other characters that they would potentially use either. So we should be pretty safely assuming and expecting the Richter or any of the Belmonts to come out.
Yeah,
and we saw T-Stu do a fairly solid job on the Falco. We know that the Falco can cook, get those combos going. So this is they're not out of the woods just yet, and LVC could potentially push this to a Game 3, a Match 3 here in this series, which would be the first for our broadcast here in the season, and would be great to see.
Yeah, honestly, would not be shocked if we do see a 3 stock here from Falco and from T-Stu. But yeah, it's hard for me to doubt Squid Plumber, though, after seeing how crazy that first game went. It's hard for me to believe that they won't be able to take out 1 stock. Very hard for me to believe that. So if I was putting money on it, I think I'd be putting my money on Squid Plumber to take 1 out. But you know what? This is Smash Bros. Crazier things have happened. We've seen some insane comebacks before. Also, wouldn't be shocked if we see one coming up again. But like I said, if I had to put some money on it, Squid Plumber taking out 1 stock, I would bet on that one.
Yeah, I mean, that's the time to bet right there. T-Stu, though, if T-Stu is able to 3 stock one of the best performers in this crew battle so far, would be a spectacular, not only a spectacular crew battle performance, but one of the best I've seen. And
absolutely,
certainly you can chalk it up to okay, well, other players have taken 7 stocks, whatever, but this is what it mostly matters. It comes down to this. So if you're able to clutch on the last 3 stocks, none of that and nothing else matters, right? It doesn't matter if the other team took 7 stocks twice in a row. It's you were able to clutch when it came down. Honestly, it's also a team effort, right? Like Woodchuckman did really solid. Doink is, I mean, at the end of the day, it's 100% a team effort. It's not just a single player that gets you anywhere, even when one of your team members gets 7 stocks. So it comes down to who plays best at the right time. And T-Stew on the Falco has really kept their wits about them. But this, the last stock, if they were able to hold on to 2 stocks, then I would be like,
been incredible. Yeah.
Then this really goes either way. The 1 stock though, against a Richter, right? A character that just does a lot of chip damage, just, I mean, you know, not the traditional chip damage, just gets a lot of residual damage, right? Like doesn't necessarily have to outright win neutral, can kind of just like slowly but surely batter you down. It's going to be hard for Falco, unless they're really on point avoiding that stuff or with their reflectors, to avoid taking damage even when they're in neutral. So,
and with Richter's one of those characters that's just, it's so easy to not realize how many times you've been hit, and then you look at your percentage and you're at like 70 or 80 or something like that. So we're gonna have to see T-Stew do a great job of avoiding a lot of the projectiles, the whips, and everything that we're gonna see from Squid Plumber. Doing a okay job of it early on, but unable to really get any damage going. I lied, as we get that reflector and some lasers, and you know what? Now T-Stew actually has the lead. Ooh, that's punish. That's punish. Good punish right there from T-Stew. Oh my god, after Squid Plumber whiffed on that uppy, this could be something. Nope. Hard read.
Wow.
Wow,
That's
hard
of
read.
all the things to do there. Yeah, that's going to get you punished hard. And now
Yeah,
Squid
you can't.
Plumber.
Sorry, go ahead. So you can't really afford to go for reads like that on the ledge against Simon and Richter because of how far their forward air can, or how far their forward air range is. So yeah, going for hard reads like that at the ledge, probably not your best option. That's I was gonna say that's a stock, but I thought that was gonna be a stock for for T-Stew, but actually Squid Plumber losing their stock there.
And this is where the matchup starts to be an issue here for Simon, right? Or for Richter, because that laser really shuts down not just getting through things, but throwing those items. Eventually, though, that war of attrition is going to go the way of Squid Plumber, and Shenandoah will take the series 2-0, making their record 2-1, making Lebanon's record 2-1 as they move through this conference. Congratulations to Shenandoah University for getting that win on the board and moving themselves to a 2-1 record here in week 3 in the East 3 Conference.
I have to give a big shout out to Lebanon Valley College, even though they unfortunately took the L today. The fact that they had the just wherewithal and the toughness to go down so hard, so early, and to inch their way back to the point where they almost actually could have taken this one, losing 7 stocks off the bat in back-to-back sets. That's really tough mentally. And to be able to just fight your way to the point where it was a respectable loss, I got to give a big shout out to Lebanon Valley College. I know they wish they had that win, but you know what? A very valiant effort nonetheless. But on the other hand, Shenandoah, one of the most impressive teams I think I've seen. I think we've seen up until this point. 2 players capable of just blowing your stocks up. We saw back-to-back 7 stock openings from Shenandoah. I feel like they let their opponent kind of get back into the match just a little bit to make it a bit interesting. But the fact that you have 2 players capable of just decimating stocks like that is going to be something to look forward to as the weeks go on.
Yeah, this is another one of the teams, like we said last week, where we want to see them improve over the season. That's certainly Lebanon, but even Shenandoah, right? Like they're certainly adapted. They kept their cool. And this is the great thing about the best of 3 crew battles, right? Is that even if you get washed out the first game, it comes down, you can change up your team order, and all of a sudden it looks a lot closer. And it really did. No one changed characters, right? That was what I was expecting, is to see some character changes. We didn't see a single character change. Every player stuck with the same character they used in the first match. So to just change the order, you can see how much of a difference that makes. Even when a player still takes 7 stocks, it ended up going to the last 2 players on both teams. So a lot of the time it does come down to adaptation from the first match and changing up the order. Even if you're not going to change characters, who goes in at what time certainly matters.
And that's why I love crew battles. It's so much more of a chess match than singles or doubles or any other format you want, a squad strike or whatever other format. Like, it's so much more of a chess match. Because, like you said, like, no one changed characters, but by just changing matchups and changing orders and just altering things just slightly, we saw a completely different match tonally in that game too. So going forward, like the one thing I'm really excited to see going forward from each of these very talented schools is just how they play that tactical chess match, moving their pieces on the board. Hey, maybe you go first, you go second. Maybe if you switch characters in the next set and you go for, like, all the different kinds of things you can do in the crew battle format that other formats in Smash don't allow you to do is why I'm like so excited to see how the rest of the weeks go here at NACE Starleague.
Not only that, but the next game as well, which I'm looking forward to. We will be getting to that in just a moment. And that, of course, will be Dallas Baptist University versus Lubbock Christian University, which should be a banger as well. I believe we have a player interview that is being worked on, so we'll get to that before we jump into the next series. And of course, I want to shout out all of our sponsors that are helping us bring this awesome fall 2022 season to all of you out there. Extra Life, of course, Corsair, Monster, BetterHelp, Duncan, and Mavix. Be sure to check them out and support them as they're supporting us here at NACE Starleague and all of our fantastic teams and our production team as well. Yeah, this is going to be another great night of Smash. It already has been. I can't wait to see the next series. And I honestly hope, just like I thought last week, I really hope, can't wait to see these teams evolve over the season and then potentially see them again, right? Because that's the thing, is that there's so many schools. So yeah. In the regular season, most likely we'll be seeing, no repeats. But when we get down to the playoffs, to the champs, to last chance qualifiers, to the end of the playoffs, that's when we might see, some of these repeat teams. And that's what I'm really hoping for. Like, how do they grow? What do they go through throughout the season after we've seen them last? That kind of stuff I'm really into.
Because, yeah, every single player playing in this tournament is going to get better as an individual, and they are also going to get better as a team as we go on. But we do have an interview ready with the winner, so we're going to get right into that. Mood Lady, how are you? How you doing, my friend? Fantastic job.
I'm doing great. Thank you. How are you?
Oh, no, we're both doing fantastic, but it's not about us today. It's all about you. I gotta say, the fact that your team has two players, both with you and Squid Plumber, capable of taking out 7 stocks in back-to-back games. Shout outs to everybody on your team, but you two in particular. The fact that you're able to take out 7 stocks each, both on one team, is incredible. Like, how are you feeling after that opening?
I'm feeling good. So, Squid Plumber and I both knew each other. It's actually really nice that we got to be here at Shenandoah together. We played a lot when COVID hit and everyone went to online. They made a crew battle league called the SDS, and they did crew battles all the time. And even like top players joined in. And so Squid Plumber and I both entered that league. So I know him from that. So we're used to that. And back then I played Byleth because Joker's not really good online. Same reason why MKLeo didn't play Byleth online, or didn't play Joker online. So yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm excited to do well again.
Yeah, well, that's an understatement. Y'all did very well this set, especially coming off the first match, which was a bit of a blowout at one point. And so I'm curious, what were y'all thinking going into the next game where you knew that Lebanon was going to make some adjustments? What was your mindset at where you're like, okay, like we have a big, advantage coming in from the first match, but it's not a guarantee to take the series?
Yeah, I mean, it's never a guarantee, and that's kind of honestly the fun part about Smash. Like, you saw when I was fighting the Yoshi, I think I got up to like 140 and then didn't die for the next like 90 seconds or 2 minutes or whatever. Just because of how fun the game is at kill percent. So that's my favorite part about crew battles. And in terms of strategy, we have a really, the core is obviously me and Squid Plumber. So we either send me or him first, and then we kind of built the team around that. We also did, we do our research. We knew. we checked out the VODs. So, and the confidence helps too. So, yeah.
So one more question from me, and I ask this to every single team. Obviously, you've been to tournaments representing yourself before, but how does it feel to be representing your school and be representing your friends on a stage like this?
It feels great, and I think I can answer for everyone else. Just It really is amazing. Being able to play for, like I said, a university. I've had sponsors before, but being able to actually play for, like, you know, the school that you go to, you know, all the staff there, just great people here at Shenandoah. We just build such a solid program all around. Shout outs to Dr. Joey Gariziak. He's the man. He's actually on the NACE board, as you guys know, so yeah, it feels great. And on the subject of tournaments, we're actually going to me, Squid Plumber, and Kyle or Kip are gonna be going to Glitch Regen.
Nice.
We're excited this weekend. Yep. So I'm actually not gonna be competing. I didn't sign up quick enough. So, but I'm gonna be going to the local before then. So yeah, I'm gonna get to see my friends do super well, and looking forward to that, of course. So yeah.
Absolutely, we'll definitely be tuning in for that, and we'll definitely be following y'all throughout the rest of the season. You know, we're almost halfway through the season already, which is crazy. So, from what you've learned so far in your first 3 weeks, what are your takeaways? What are you looking to improve on as a team to ensure you make it as far as you can in the postseason?
So our first match, we felt like it was really more of like our loss. I mean, the other team played really well, but we knew we could do much better. So, you know, we felt like we should have been up 2-0. And after that first game, we were just kind of like, all right, well, we need to get our stuff together. So we started practicing more online, because that's really the difference. Like, you can have like really solid players who play on offline, and they're all good. But some of them just struggle just to deal with the different, in the connection, the difference in the delay and all that.
Yeah.
So Moonley, we're gonna let you go now. Please tell the rest of your team congratulations. You all played fantastically. Hope to see you again later on, hopefully in the playoffs. But don't have too much fun though. But tell everyone I said congratulations. Congrats.
All
on
right, thanks so much. Yeah, have a good one.
Thank you.
So that was Moon Lady. So humble as well. I humble, but like also has that confidence, which I'm a big fan of. And you see people kind of balance both. So congrats to them. Good luck at Glitch, by the way. Good luck at Glitch this weekend, by the way. But you know what? We're gonna take a quick break, and we are gonna be back with the second match of the day. So stay tuned.
Welcome back, everybody, to NACE Starleague, the fall 2022 season. And of course, you saw a bunch of our highlights of all the games you see here right in front of you. We have Rocket League, of course, on Mondays, Call of Duty and Valorant on Tuesdays. And here on Thursdays, we are always here for some Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, followed by CSGO Fridays. And if you're not checking out every game throughout the week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, you're missing out on some crazy plays like we just saw. I mean, for me, I don't know. The honorable mention was, I mean, to be fair, that shot, the wall, the crate bang, really there, the wall bang from the CS:GO shot, the top one was dope. But what a save! What a save from Cornball off the top, at the crossbar, off the rip, full gas. That was awesome. I love me some great Rocket League. I love all those games. That's another thing I love about this, is that all the games are great that we have here. Smash, Call of Duty, Valorant, Rocket League, CSGO. You got your tech shooters. You got your platform fighter. And of course, Rocket League is in a league of its own. So it's great to see all these games. The highlights are awesome. The players are awesome. And we are happy to be back, as we are going to get into our second and final series here of the night, our second crew battle. And it will be between Dallas Baptist University and Lubbock Christian University. Both teams 1-1, both teams from the West Central Conference, and both teams from Texas. So we got a little good old Texas standoff here for a final matchup of the night.
And not too sure of how far these schools are from each other, but you know what? There's potential that maybe these players know each other. Maybe these players have played against each other. Maybe they have some familiarity as we see the rosters over on the DBU side. Dallas Baptist University, we have Conk, King Cannon, Minixo? My apologies. Torchy. And on the other side, Lubbock Christian University, LCU, we have Worm Hero, Chumpkin, Shrey W, and Hansuke. Yes, Hansuke.
Hansuke, maybe.
Hansuke.
There we go.
I was trying to pronounce, I don't know. Is it pronounced like Sasuke?
It could be. It could be. I'm going with Hansuke.
Hansuke?
But maybe it's Hansuke,
Okay.
We'll find out. Maybe
You're Han.
as we go
You're
into as we go in. DBU versus LCU. Both of these teams, compared to the teams we'd seen previously, I don't know as much about them. So we got a bunch of wild cards coming into this one. I'm not entirely sure what characters we're going to get, what orders we're going to get here as we jump into our second series. But both of these teams are 1-1. So not a situation where like Lebanon was kind of defending their 2-0 record going into week 3. Both of these teams taking a win, taking a loss. Now they're looking to get ahead against another team in the same conference at the same standing.
And before we even get into this match, I have to give a big shout out to every single sponsor that made this tournament possible. That's Extra Life. Please head to extralife.org for more information on how you can help change the future with games. Also, a big shout out to Corsair, Monster, BetterHelp, Duncan, and Mavix again for making this tournament possible. None of this would be here without them. But yeah, we are going to get into the next match. It's just Texas is in South, I feel like one of the regions that often gets overlooked in Smash. You have your Florida, you have your West, you have your California, you have your Tri-State, all that stuff like that. I feel like Texas is one of those regions that doesn't get enough love, doesn't get as much love as maybe they should get. So I'm just really interested and really excited to see just how talented the players down in Texas are.
Yeah, that's certainly a far region from me, from you as well.
Yep.
And when I think of Texas, I always think of like the old like brawl players. I think like Ultimate Razor was like that's a throwback right there.
We're old. No, we're old.
So but of course the scene has grown and grown and grown since then, and this is going to be a great matchup because we have Texas is a big state. Absolutely. It's massive, right?
It's the biggest.
It is massive. So it's a very solid chance that these teams are farther away from each other than we are away from each other physically as casters. So maybe not that far, but considerably. So in terms of these two teams, some bit of wild cards for us overall. I know we might be seeing potentially like a Zero Suit, a King K. Rool, maybe a Fox come out from Dallas Baptist. From LCU, I believe Worm Hero plays Rob. And from the players that I saw from LCU, it seemed like Worm Hero had the most significant results. Pretty both online and offline. Don't know much about Chumpkin. Might be a Yoshi player, but if it is the Yoshi player that I'm thinking of and looked into, they had a solid amount of top 8 placements in their region as well. Trey and Hansuke, don't know. I was not able to find anything on them, and so they're wild cards coming into this one, which is also a fun part in and of itself. It's fun to know what's going to happen. Like, okay, like we know this player is going to use this character. We might play, them in this order depending on their results. LCU have players that we have no idea how they're going to perform. They could supremely surprise us, which I'm excited to see, and can't wait for these two teams to get into it.
Yeah, and in collegiate Smash, you often see that people who you're not really familiar with, and then you find out they play some obscure character, and you find out that they're absolutely filthy with whatever obscure character they Wii Fit. I've seen King K. Rool. We saw Wii Fit last week actually. I've seen like King K. Rules dominate collegiate. It's absolutely crazy. So yeah, it's nice to kind of know what you're getting into. It's easier to break down, but it's just so. It's like I'm like amped up to see it. It's almost like you're watching like a thriller and you don't know how the movie's gonna end because you're just waiting and excited to see who they opt to use and how good they are with those characters. So yeah, but not too much information on LCU, unfortunately, but we're gonna learn all about them very, very shortly.
Yeah, definitely. Can't wait to find out and see how they surprise us. This is a situation where I think we even saw this in the previous set too, and even Moon Lady kind of alluded to this where. We talked about this in last week where teams are very much like kind of built around one or two players and then fleshed out. We saw a couple of teams last week. Actually, it felt pretty even. Like there didn't seem to necessarily be a star player. Obviously, in the previous set, Squid Plumber and Moon Lady were the rocks of that team, and they took 14 stocks between the two of them across two games. Like that's obviously there's a lot to be built around them. They're a great foundation. I wasn't surprised by that answer. I think similarly, we might see this between DBU and LCU, and that just might just come down to the fact that we know a bit about some players and not others. So this might be a team that's built a bit around, Conk and King Cannon for DBU. Torchy didn't seem to have a lot of results, though it might have been a result of maybe their name being spelled differently in some ways, because they have the 0 in there instead of the O. But the results I did find from Torchy were good, right? They got, first places, second places as the Fox. So could be built around them. Worm Hero for LCU, I think, is probably one of the foundational players from that team, not only from their results, but if they play Rob, then that's an obvious pick to play around with, because that's one of your better matchup spreads. So it remains to be seen how this goes. But yeah, I think we're seeing, these players, the star players kind of rise up a little bit, or the more foundational players present themselves, and then the team built around them.
But I think, and that's a great point about the kind of the foundation of the team, but I think what's going to win the match is how, I guess, if you want to call them, how the role players are going to kind of play their role. Yep, you have your big people who are going to take out 5 to 6 stocks. That's great. But you know what? If your third and fourth best player aren't pulling their weight as well, we've seen leads get evaporated in the matter of like a match or two. So I really feel like if, assuming all things equal, how the third and fourth best players on each of these teams play, I feel like is what's really going to determine which way this swings. And yeah, like you said, I think we're going to see Conk and King Cannon probably the two leads here. So that potentially K. Rool, potentially ZSS. And don't sleep on K. Rool in crew battles. If this is K. Rool, do not sleep on K. Rool in crew battles. I have seen that character absolutely wipe teams out by themselves in crew battles. Like
K. Rool crew battles online, scary.
Better than Steve. No, I'm joking.
I mean, but no, it's a good point. I mean, even though we kind of expected the Joker from Moon Lady, just because that's like still a strong character, Moon Lady made a great point. Joker's not as great online because you have to be, one of the things that makes Joker good is being precise, and you can't be as well online. It looks like actually we have a bit of a change here. So LCU, instead of playing one of the players that we didn't know too much about initially, a game typology, not a name that I had seen previously, up against Torchy, who is using Aegis instead of the expected Fox that we had been talking about.
And yeah, what, I do kind of like this. I don't know if they knew that they were going to be up against a Yoshi, but Yoshi famously struggles against swords across basically every single Smash game. So you know what, opting for Mythra, who's arguably the best sword wielder in this game, definitely a great choice. But you know what? Despite everything I just said, right now, Mythra game typology is definitely struggling. down about 100% and now down a whole stock and only 37% on Torchy right now, off to an amazing opening.
Yeah, and I misspoke there. It's Torchy who's playing the Yoshi. I said Aegis, but it's Game Typology who is now, it looks like, getting a bit cooked here on the Aegis. And against the Yoshi, who seemingly has a really solid hold on this matchup.
And yeah, it's like, Torchy's really playing this matchup the best he really can. Like I said, like, Yoshi just famously struggles against damn near every sword wielder in every single Smash game. So to play this matchup this well against a character like like Aegis, Mythropyra, who are arguably, top 2-3 in the game, depending on who you ask and depending on what day of the week it is, playing this matchup damn near to perfection.
Yeah.
There we go, the Yoshi bomb. Gonna rack on some more damage right there. The up smash not enough to get a KO, but oh my god, defeating the egg right into that forward air. Oh my, Dak, I almost got out my chair again. I almost lost my voice.
Well, don't worry, I did it for you. That is another setup. We saw it twice, and it works out again. Game Typology has to start to get on board here with the flow that Torchy is hitting them with. These forward airs are insane. Game Typology is getting hit by them. Oh, and that's a risky dash attack, especially with a slower character like Pyra. And just getting caught swinging right now. Torchy looking for it again. Just barely out of range, but Torchy in full control of this first game so far.
And yeah, another dash attack coming through from Typology, managing to get that one nearing out of the egg. If Type can, I don't think Type is going to take this game, but if they can manage to get one more stock, then I really feel like they've done an adequate job. As we see that up smash from Mythra, not going to be enough. Is the side B going to be it? Nope. Not quite. Opting to, drift back to stage with the egg. Another side B coming through from Typology, but that's not going to do it. Good shield, a good up smash, and that's going to be Torchy taking out 3 stocks while only losing 1. Very solid opening. Not quite the explosive openings we've seen in prior matches, but you know what? Still really, really good opening over there for DBU.
Yeah, a very, very solid start here. Let's go back and check out the action here. Game Typology getting caught lacking in this matchup. Really, the landings here are getting caught out so hard, and then the egg throw to forward air confirmation comes through, and it works out very well for them. So it's very, very good start here, Torchy. Picking things up to get things started. Not the dominating starts that we've seen, but a good one nonetheless.
And again, playing the sword matchup really as well as anybody could. Yoshi against Aegis, against Marth, Lucina, Byleth, just famously just struggles against anyone with a good disjoint. And again, Aegis being arguably the best sword character. I don't even know if it's arguable. Best sword character in the game, unless you count Steve as a sword character, technically. But but Aegis being one of the top 2 sword characters in the game, being able to play around everything like Torchy just did, incredible. Because again, if you're unfamiliar with Smash, Yoshi does not do well against swords, or anyone with long hitboxes really doesn't do well. So shouts to Torchy for playing that damn near perfectly, only losing 1 stock.
Yeah, that was just, I think, really a matchup diff right there. Like, you could just tell that Yoshi had all the knowledge they needed, but I think also we saw a lot of unsafe moves, a lot of swinging. I think
dash attacks from that Pyra.
Yeah, a lot of dash attacks, a lot of neutral B, like just unsafe moves that unless you know they're gonna land, like really, really put you at disadvantage hard. And if you have a character like Yoshi who can punish very quickly, and a player who knows how to punish effectively with Yoshi, I mean, we saw the same setup twice in a row to get that kill, the first and second ones, like. That's where you really, really need to be mindful of what buttons you're pressing and not just swing. It can be against a Yoshi where, like, okay, I need to trade a lot. It's understandable that you would want to swing, but like you talked earlier, Yoshi is a character that can weave in and out. And when you're not, when you're playing Aegis, you don't have a strong projectile in the air. Yoshi can get in and start to make mincemeat and kind of schmicks you a little bit. And that's where you're going to have your swings really checked hard.
And as we see the Link coming out next, that is Trey W from LCU with the Link. So another sword character. I guess that's have a penchant for sword characters over there at LCU. But a character with a lot of fantastic projectiles. Gonna be Yoshi might struggle a little bit, but at the same time, Yoshi really good at bobbing and weaving and double jumping and egg tossing everything through projectiles. So we'll see how this goes. Link, a character you definitely don't see often. I feel like one of the characters that gets buffed by Wi-Fi a little bit, like most projectile characters. A character with a lot of KO potential, but you know what? Like we're seeing right here, struggles to land and struggles in disadvantage. As we see that first stock already lost.
Deleted, really. Like that was just gone in 60 seconds or less. Delivery came through quick, and now it's slowed down a little bit here. Trey looking for, Torchy looking for a way in safely. Trey W on this Link. So far, doing a better job on the second stock being safe and keeping Yoshi at bay, but really needs to get this kill, which has not so far has eluded them until the out of shield up B finally lands.
Yep, out of shield up B. That you're gonna probably see that coming through a lot from Link. It is a bit of a risky move if it whiffs, because despite it spinning around a lot, it only has one hitbox there at the beginning. So really good move for Link to use when it hits, but if it misses, you kind of look foolish. But definitely working out right there as we're seeing Torchy just maintain this lead. But if you're Trey, you really have to take out this stock. You can't afford to lose another one.
A forward air. You can see even Torchy is getting very, not excessive, but certainly working that forward air in as much as they can. It's understandable though, because you don't want to have to turn around to show the back air, which can definitely be taken out by some projectiles. So that forward air definitely gives you that range you want to use, but has to be careful landing with it, because that up B is being used by Trey very effectively.
And yeah, Torchy definitely just fiending for those forward airs right here, but I really think that Trey's becoming privy to it as we see that Nair. What's the edge guard here? Okay, opting for the bomb, but couldn't get anything out of it. And Torchy swinging from the fences. Watch your shield. Torchy kind of swinging for the fences with that forward smash. Couldn't get much up. And another forward smash. Torchy just really wants to end this, or take this stock out at least, but you know what? Gets forward air for their trouble as Dallas Baptist University, as LCU, I should say, kind of closing the gap a little bit there.
Yeah, they definitely do. That's two stocks held onto there by Trey, who's using that Link very effectively. Not like a super projectile heavy Link style either, right? Like didn't camp very hard, like just on reaction, up being against those cross-ups. You saw the bomb come out there, but like we really didn't see the slower, campier style from Link, which makes sense because Yoshi can get in on that. And if you start to play a little too slow, a little too grounded, you're gonna get really like hard pressured in disadvantage and even a neutral as Link. So against that, very solid play. I mean, of course, we saw Torchy do a really good job. I mean, Torchy got the previous player down 3 stocks and then took a 4th. That's definitely a solid amount of work there. Yeah, that's a good job. So things are pretty evened out now. This is not the player comes in and takes 7 stocks to start things off like we saw in the previous series. Both these teams are 1-1 so far, seem to be pretty even on paper and in game so far there as well.
But the fact that we didn't get that explosive opening frightens me, because I feel like we're gonna get it later. We're gonna get that one person that just comes in and sweeps potentially later. Definitely looks it looks like both teams maybe are holding on to their ace for maybe their 3rd or 4th character. Just kind of based on what I've seen here. So just because it's close now, it might not be close 2 matches from now. But I want to go back to that match that we just actually saw. I really liked how Trey was playing there. You mentioned it, not playing the projectile game because of how good Yoshi is at weaving in and out of all of that stuff. But on the other hand, Torchy, I feel like was just going for a lot of unsafe things. I feel like once they saw that red percent, once that little percentage at the bottom of the screen turned red for Link, you saw them start to swing. Swing for forward air, swing for forward smashes. I think I saw an up smash or 2 in there as well. And the second that Trey realized that's what was happening, we saw, okay, I'm just going to sit here and shield. Yeah. You're going to keep hitting me, and I'm just going to shield, and I'm going to up B you, and that's how this match is going to go. That is exactly how the match went. So if I'm Torchy in game 2, or in set 2, maybe I slow it down a bit, kind of let my opponent make a mistake before I go for something, instead of trying to force the action like we saw there and getting punished for it.
Oh, you're totally right. I even would have loved to have seen some wave bounce neutral B, right? Like try to go for egg lay a little bit more, because the Link is sitting in shield and you should be able to get that out in time before the up B. But easier said than done if you get a little too over aggressive with that, or you whiff that, that's also a really hard punish that Link can hit you with. So, and you can't really approach with that either. It can also be a bit telegraphed when you're like, oh, I'm going to land on your shield. What am I going to do if I'm not landing on you with, Yoshi Bomb or back air? The egg lay is very often what comes out next. And even egg throw, we saw it worked in there a little bit, but it wasn't as effective as you would think at kind of keeping Link at bay. Maybe we didn't see it enough, but nevertheless, now we're looking forward to seeing, okay, who do these teams have to offer otherwise? Trey obviously still in here with the Link. Oh, I was off on Torchy. I thought they were a Fox player, they were a Yoshi player. Unless that was, either way, yeah, they could have both characters in their character pool. It is Ultimate. There's a full roster, almost 100 characters. These days, especially 4 years into the game, you got to have multiple characters. King Cannon, I think based on their name, I'm pretty confident that King K. Rool is their pick, but I think they also play Corrin, so we might expect that. And Conk, I'm pretty sure, is a Zero Suit. So because I don't know who Minix plays, I'm going to say it's probably going to be one of those two characters. And I think King K. Rool would do a pretty decent job against Link, because you can just power through a lot of Link shenanigans right there with Crown and kill kind of early. That Zero Suit, also not a bad choice either.
And for those who may be watching Smash for the first time, the reason why King K. Rool is so not a great character, but really good in crew battles and really good online is because they have a mechanic called belly armor. That big golden belly of theirs, completely invincible for, well, I don't say invincible, but it can tank a few hits for you, has some armor on it, and against projectiles, it actually is a pretty decent way to approach your opponent if you're in kind of that mid-range area. So if it is King K. Rool, do not be shocked if we do see them take out quite a few stocks, but we are going to see what is going on here in game number 3. As I see, it is ZSS with Conk. You are definitely right about that. As we see Trey lose that stock. ZSS, one of the best zone breakers in the game, does not care about your projectiles with down B right over it all. Every single one of them will jump over everything, will run through every single thing you want to throw at this character. So I really like this pick over for Dallas Baptist University. Not much better you can do in terms of zone breaking than ZSS.
By the way, a little bit of a fun fact here, right? Our previous matchup, LVC versus Shenandoah, from Pennsylvania to Virginia, they're only about 2 hours away, 2.5 hours from each other. But these two schools, despite being in Texas, are over twice that distance. So they're like 5-6 hours or something crazy like that between these two teams, despite being in the same state. So maybe unlikely that they've really ever played each other often, right? Like it's like someone me, like New York City area, playing someone like Rochester often. Probably doesn't happen. But still interested to see like the distances that we're covering here at NACE Starleague.
Mm-hmm. And we're getting into this game right here. Right now we're seeing Trey on the verge of taking out a stock. Nope. Almost got buried into the boost kick. Couldn't quite do it though. But yeah, Trey right now on the verge of taking out another stock. That would be stock number 3 if my math is right.
Yes, yes, I believe so.
Okay, and edge guard there. Going right, that's a big punish. Oh no, that should have been a big punish, but you know what? Does manage to get the down smash as we see Trey take out stock number 3. Playing a little bit of basketball on the shield with the bomb there.
Yeah, now this is a lot more of the projectile game that we want to see here. Has that ready to go, is able to get the bomb out just in time. The first bomb that was on the stage actually hit Conk, and then they're able to get that back and blast themselves, damage boosting themselves back onto stage. Now a little bit of boxing. 137 here for Trey. Conk lands a side B, and it's the sweet spot. That's a guaranteed kill there at that percent. And now it is 2-1 on stocks. It's up to Trey to see if they can take out at least one more to keep things even.
And yeah, with the way Trey's been playing, completely controlling the match, despite losing that stock, I really feel like they've been controlling the pace of both matches they're in. So would not be shocked if we see them take another one. Honestly, even 2 stocks here in this third game. Okay, here we go. Boomerang into forward air. Another boomerang.
Nice call
and you know
out.
what? Really great call out. Down being right into that up smash. Trey was ready and waiting. Went for a hard read with the dash attack. Very punishable move, but Conk opting to play it safe and to back out. Went for a little bit of a cheeky down B there. This could be. This is really bad for Conk. Oh no, I lied.
I was gonna say, Conk is cooking right now. Like,
Yeah.
they are just getting a lot of really good follow-ups, solid reads, right, especially in the corner. And Trey's just having a lot of difficulty getting this back to neutral. Finally does, but really more so because Conk lets them. That side B.
Oh, no.
And that's a trade.
Wait, what happened?
Does not
Oh, my
work out for Conk. I thought Conk went over to the left side, but they
Same.
DBZ'd split across the stage and hits all the way up the top right blast zone. So now it is Conk on that last stock. Trey, it's at 7-7, but Trey at 129%. But despite that, still keeping those nairs and forward airs out and about, trying to cross up on Conk as they're also approaching in the air, but has to be careful of jumping because that side B will catch you on the platform, and Conk will walk away with that with the stock at their side.
And Dak, this is like the closest a match has been, or a set has been, after
Yep.
what, like 3 games, as we've seen. Only a 1 stock lead, I believe that was for DBU. Only a 1 stock lead heading into this game 4 here. And I'm still just wondering, as we see this replay, did both of these teams hold on to their potential aces? That's what I'm wondering. Or did they already burn their ace and we just haven't realized it yet? As we see that DBZ, I really thought Link went out to the right side there. I really thought Link went to the right side there to kind of switch. But yeah, are both teams still hanging on to their potential aces is my question. So it's going to be really interesting to see who gets sent in next from both sides.
I think Worm Hero is going to be the anchor for LCU.
Okay. And that's a Rob you said potentially, right?
Yeah, I think that's a Rob. I'm not sure if they're going to pop the Rob immediately here because Zero Suit versus Rob, I think Rob can kind of get can kind of get bodied there. So I don't expect Worm Hero to come out. Game Topology came in, so I'm not sure if they replaced Hansuke or if they placed Chumpkin. So assuming it was the former, I believe Chumpkin is a Yoshi player. Has a pretty solid amount of top 8s in their region, but again, it could be a different player. Though Chumpkin's not a very common tag, so I'm thinking it's probably them. King Cannon, though, I think could be the anchor here for DBU. I don't know who Minix plays, but K. Rool is another beast, man, entirely. We were talking about that. And even though it's a character that could kind of get counterpicked in this situation, you may not want them matchup-wise as your anchor. K. Rool deletes stocks and can be really annoying to fight, no matter who you are. So, wouldn't be surprised if it's them.
Delete stocks, and at the same time, if you one of those characters, if you don't know the matchup, if you don't know when it's safe to push a button, you will go from 0 to like 70 before you even realize that you're being hit by something with the amount of stuff that character has in their repertoire. Again, that belly armor, they do send out K-Roll right now. That belly armor able to kind of cheese you through a lot of stuff, able to just tank some hits, and a lot of things that should hit you won't hit you because of that belly armor. And again, if you don't know the matchup, this character's ability to punish bad reads, bad buttons, bad anything is really, really, really good. And you don't expect that from a character that's usually considered low tier, but like this character's very, very, very good if you don't know what to expect from them. Yeah,
it's really like very much a gatekeeper character. If you don't know the matchup, you get blown up. You know, I think if you do know the matchup, if you're throwing out unsafe moves, K-Rool eats that up, right? Like you talked about the belly armor. Of course, there's a super armor on crown throw, but K-Rool gets so much off grabs and the command grab as well that if you're getting close and up close and personal without playing safe, that's an opportunity for K-Rool to really turn the jets on. You have to be really careful. So you have to be able to, if you're going to play aggressive, you have to really pick your shots. And on Wi-Fi, that can be very hard to do. So sometimes I'll see a lot of these players play a lot slower against King K. Rool, which has the alternate effect of giving K. Rool breathing room, which you don't always want to do because he's a big, heavy character. You want to pile on the damage when you can. So it's a hard balance to strike. If you're not playing like an outright hard counter to K. Rool, you can still have some trouble. We're going to see who comes in. I'm not expecting the K. Rool here after Conk, but we'll see who comes in for LCU as their next player will jump into the game. And you know what? Hey, that's I think my first big whiff of the night, man. You can't get them all right. Worm Hero does come in here on the Rob.
You're still shooting like 4-1 or something like that on your picks, so you're still doing pretty well. But yeah, Rob, I feel like this famously does not do well against ZSS. So maybe they know something that we don't, but this is only one stock. This is only one stock. And with Rob, all you need is 1 or 2, maybe 3 really good reads in order to take that stock. So I think they're hoping that Worm Hero can manage to kind of just get the jump on Conk before Conk just does everything that ZSS is capable of doing to Rob.
Yeah, this could actually be a pain point here for LCU, because if they throw Robin against Conk, who was on their last stock, and Conk just takes like 2, even maybe gets 3 stocks, I mean, that's already 1 off 36%. This might have been a critical error here. Instead of saving Worm Hero until after Conk was taken out, now their Rob is taking a lot of losses already. I mean, it's already evened up. Conk hasn't been hit in like 30 seconds at least, I think. And this is now an opportunity for Dallas Baptist to kind of run away with this series.
And if Conk manages to take out one more, what was once a close game will then be, what, a 2 or 3 stock lead? If Conk does manage to take out, what, even potentially 2 more with the way they're playing. Again, like, I don't know if I agree with the raw pick. I really would have saved Worm for after Conk was dealt with, and we're seeing the reason why here. Though Worm Hero definitely having a bit of momentum, has Conk at 94%. This is one like up smash, potentially a grab away from being it. Or the up air, nope. Down being out of that, flip kicking out of that up air. Gonna see that come out very, very often, and that's gonna be the down smash. Yep, that is gonna do it.
All right.
Lost the stock. Still don't necessarily agree with sending in Rob there. But still, hey, only lost 1 stock in the matchup that is complete utter butt cheeks. So shout out to Worm Hero for doing that. But would have loved to hold on to that stock though, that 1 stock.
That might have been like, okay, LCU is trying to target who they think is DBU's best player. Like, okay, if Conk is their best player, let's throw in Worm Hero to make sure they get taken out as soon as possible. But I was about to comment right here. One thing we saw from Conk pretty often was using the Plasma Whip, using that side B to deal with gyro, which can work. It has the range and it will, clank out with it and it'll stop the gyro. But if you time it wrong, there's so much cooldown on that side B that you get opened up. If you're just off in the timing and the gyro is a little delayed, like we saw right there, you can get killed off the gyro, or you get put into a bad situation where there's a follow-up coming from the Rob, which is exactly what we saw. So that's part of that situation there where Conk kind of committing to something that didn't need to happen, like just jump, right? Or just shield it. At that range, you don't need to side B gyro.
Yeah.
And that's just one of those things that, adds up a little bit. And good job by Worm Hero to recognize that and delay that gyro just a little bit, call out the side B, and then follow up and get that kill. Still walking away with a death, but otherwise takes that stock, gets Conk out of here, and now just 2 players remaining for DBU.
Yeah, and those 2 players are for LCU. That's Chumpkin and Hanske. Hanske?
Well, so.
Oh no, sorry, my bad.
It'll be
Minix.
It'll be one
Minix or Cannon.
It'll be one of the other for LCU after Worm Hero, because we don't know who was replaced by Game Topology.
Right,
but for DBU, yes, we have Minix and we have King Cannon. So I'm still sticking with King Cannon being the anchor.
Same.
But I was wrong on Worm Hero being the anchor for LCU, so who knows? Maybe my luck has ran out. I think it's also that we don't know who Minix or Minixo plays, which really tailors into this, so we weren't able to figure that out. So I'm not entirely sure. Like, is there a character very likely that's way better than King K. Rool that they have? Could happen. K. Rool's not that great. But if you don't know the matchup, you play on Wi-Fi, you're playing in crew battles, King K. Rool is a killer. We've seen it time and time again. So we'll see how this plays out.
Yeah, and just not knowing who Minix plays I really feel like because Minix might be their anchor and we just don't know it yet. Minix might be their anchor and we just don't know it yet. But yeah, honestly, if assuming that King K. Rool or King Cannon is their anchor, or is their best player, I think I might even send them in right now just to kind of make up the little bit of a deficit, or to extend the deficit, I should say, or to extend the lead that you have, right. I should say, over LCU, because this is getting to be really, really close. And if you have a really, really good player, I think now might be the time to just kind of give yourself a little bit of a breathing room as we get into Game 5. Is it going to be King Cannon? It is going to be King Cannon.
Off again. No, my luck's running out.
Had a good winning streak there, but kind of fumbling the bag a little bit, Deck. Yeah, King Cannon right here coming in with the K roll and making the assumption that this is their anchor or this is their ace. I do kind of agree with this pick to kind of just build on this 1 stock lead that you have potentially, but against Rob, a character that is known for just keeping you in disadvantage forever, this might be a little bit of a struggle for King K. Rool.
It really can be, because K. Rool does have tools to deal with Rob, but Rob's like just normal moves are much better than K. Rool's, right? Like, so you can armor, you're gonna get side beat, you're gonna get forward aired, like all these other moves that Rob has that Rob can rely on without setup. I think that's the biggest thing, is that K. Rool kind of needs a bit more setup to land some stuff. Like, sure, you can land a big fat, back air or down smash, which almost killed Worm Hero. I think was caught off guard by that, almost DI'd out to the blast zone. But yeah, down tilt, crazy blows up K. Rool. Nice call out there, though. Actually, I think that might have just been an up tilt whiff that worked out for Worm Hero. K. Rool does have to commit a bit more. The projectiles aren't as good. That armor works out, but only so much.
And yeah, we're seeing that side B getting his shield right there. A good hard read from King Cannon, getting that down smash. It wasn't enough to get a KO, though. Rob is a pretty heavy character, so it'll take a little bit more than that to do it. A down throw into the up tilt, into the up air. Nope. On Yoshi's story, that might have actually been a KO as well. Definitely one of the smaller stages, and that was definitely a KO with that back air. Good call out from Worm Hero, and another good call out from King Cannon. They are going stock for stock, hit for hit, and we're actually tied up at 4 stocks apiece. Stack. This is the closest match we have seen this entire tournament.
This is exactly what we want to see, too. Both teams evenly matched, even in a matchup like this, which you wouldn't expect it, but King Cannon is really holding their stuff up against Worm Hero. Granted, Worm Hero came into this with a disadvantage, so in reality, Worm Hero is actually bringing this back hard for LBC, right? Like, Worm Hero was down a stock, and now they've potentially could take 3 stocks here, only dropping a single one. They're getting to kill percent here. Looks for the up air, not going to land, but another big punish off the gyro. Again, the exact same play from the previous game. The gyro throw, and then running in for the down smash. It works on the Zero Suit, it works on the King K. Rool, and now it works entirely here for Worm Heroes. They bring things forward to, I believe, just a slight lead, a 4-3 lead here for LCU, turning the tides against Dallas Baptist.
And Minix for Dallas Baptist is the last player they have left, as we see. I think this is going to be the back air, I believe. Yep. Oh, yeah, that's going to be that back air. Oh, yeah, we know what we saw. King K. Rool, King Cannon there. Yep, look for the crown. That move does have some armor on it. You can tank a hit, but I feel like that just came out. That back air came out just a couple of frames before that armor activated, so we saw Rob take that right there. But yeah, on DBU side, only Minix is left. Again, an unknown. Couldn't find much information about them, which makes me scared, because it's like, until we know for sure who the ace is, you never really know. And this is still only a 1-stock game. Let's assume that Minix is just the absolute GOAT. This is still they can take out 4 stocks and potentially, and we might have a DBU comeback here.
I would not be surprised if we're down to 1 player on either side, which is what we want to see. But also, this is a situation where Worm Hero might get a little counterpicked. I mean, Rob doesn't get counterpicked very hard, but could still be, in a situation where, maybe. But what actually is really funny? I was about to say, we have not seen a Steve yet, man.
Don't.
No Steves.
Don't.
We haven't seen a Steve.
Don't.
To be fair, Rob actually doesn't do. I mean, Rob does kind of fine against Steve, one of the characters that can deal with all of Steve's shenanigans. But I'm just sitting here, I'm like, when are we gonna see a Steve? When are we gonna see a Steve, man? Like, we're into week 3, the second week of the broadcast, third week of the season. No Steve. I don't know, man. When I play Elite Smash, there's more than enough Steves out there. I know for a fact. Wi-Fi tournaments. I know there's Steves out here, but these college teams, they do have some self-respect, which I appreciate. But who knows? Maybe we get the Steve. Maybe we get something like that. No Kazuya's, right?
Oh,
haven't seen a Kazuya.
I feel like I'm, as much as I was just joking about Steve there, I think I'm one of the few people who actually likes watching those characters. I love characters that just do absolute asinine amounts of damage.
Yeah.
As someone who doesn't have to fight against it, and as someone who just has to watch it and talk about it, characters that just do absurd amount of damage, with Kazi and Steve, I feel like being 2 of the biggest offenders in that case. I love watching it. I absolutely love watching it. Seeing people just get their stocks decimated from 0 after getting touched once. I love it, because I don't have to fight against it. But yeah, you know what? I am actually shocked that we've seen up between this week and last week about 16 or so players, and haven't seen one Steve yet, which I'm actually kind of shocked about. I thought we would have had at least 1 or 2 by now.
I hope we get a Steve now. I know the chances are low, right? 1 out of 89 chance or whatever. But I want someone to pop the Steve at this point, which I can't believe I'm saying that.
Thought you want someone to use Steve?
I don't really. It would be funny for us to say all of that and then Steve actually gets picked. I don't know. I think it's gonna be like Peach or something. I don't know, Zelda. That's what I'm feeling. Like I have no idea.
Really?
Oh! Hey! What? Wow.
Oh, I know you're happy.
Another Ridley. There we go. That I'm actually funny that I didn't even think about Ridley coming out, but whoever does.
Ridley versus Rob. Who plays Ridley?
Nobody. And we got green meta Ridley, the Ridley robot version. Very nice.
But yeah, Ridley versus Rob right here. Minix, the last player for DBU. You know much more about this character than I do. How do you feel? Okay. I was gonna say, how do you feel about the Rob Ridley matchup? But I think Worm Hero just answered it for me.
Well, this matchup is not fun. I'll tell you that. And I don't think I need to say that because you can clearly see what's happening here. Gyro really just completely messes this matchup up.
Ooh,
like, you almost can't. Oh, a 0 to death. You can't commit against Rob when you're playing as Ridley, and you see what happens when you even try to do a single option. You get blown up. Still, Worm Hero has not been touched. Finally gets hit.
There you go.
That side B is so risky in this matchup too. Yeah. I think honestly one of the best things you can do in this matchup actually is single fireball.
Okay.
That stops gyro. It doesn't stop laser, but it'll stop gyro, which is really what you need to do because laser is not the biggest tool that Ridley gets blown up by. It's this gyro. Shielding a lot more. Nice, uses the up B to get in. Really shielding, forward tilt, nair, and single fireball is kind of how you survive this matchup. I'm surprised that Minix is going for so many side Bs because in this matchup it is devastatingly risky to try to go for such a laggy move. Worm Hero so far in full control.
And we see that up B back to stage, managing to get a hit on Worm Hero, and the up smash, very good call out there from Minix, managing to stop that bleeding a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, I thought they were about to lose another stock the way that match was going, but really good call out with that up smash. And you know what? Only lost a stock. Only lost a stock. As for Ridley, for Ridley, that's pretty good. Pretty good. But we are gonna get into this next match, and I really feel like the chances of this being a good character for Ridley to fight in the next match is very, very low. The chances of that are very, very low. I feel like, again, you know it a lot better than I do. A character that's probably very easy to counterpick. So whether it's Chumpkin or Hansuke, sorry if I mispronounced the name, Chumpkin or Hansuke next, you could since you have 5 players on this team, no matter which way you can go, you can say, look, if my character does better against Ridley, I can send in Chumpkin, or if it's Hansuke, whoever Hansuke plays, you can send in Hansuke, whatever the case is. So not looking too good for Minix. Ridley, not the character I want to be last on my team. But we'll see how this goes. Maybe Minix is just absolutely cracked out, and they're gonna go off in this next match.
If I'm the Ridley player, if I'm Minix, I'm looking to side B at 0% right here. Like, I'm looking for the Ridley side. That's how you get back into this, is you get the first stock, right? You're up at high percent, and then you go for the Ridley side B, because you know they're going to try to fish for the kill. That's what I'd be looking for. That's how I win my games as Ridley, is to try to cheese them. So
what else are you going to do? You can't play straight up. You're going to lose.
Well, I mean, I do think single fireball is really a tool that more Ridley should use. Especially you can wave bounce that move in neutral, which is honestly not bad. Even like 2 or 3 fireballs really good. Obviously, fully charged fireball is a kill confirm into dash attack at like 100% or more. Like, that's a move you want to try to work in. Against Rob, you pretty much never can, though, because you can immediately get laser gyro. I would like to see more single fireball, probably less side Bs. It's just so risky. And we are going to get the Yoshi, so I think it's Chumpkin, and it is. This matchup is doable, man, and Yoshi can get cheesed, so this is not over at all. We'll see. It comes down to this. The last 2 players here between Dallas Baptist and Lubbock Christian into this first match of this best of 3.
And Yoshi, a character, we said this earlier when we saw Torchy, struggles against swords and really just big hitboxes in general, and Ridley with that neutral air. I really feel like it, but again, if I'm wrong, please call me out on that, Dak, but I really feel like neutral air in this matchup is going to be really, really important for Ridley.
It absolutely is, but I think what Mini's doing really well here is using forward tilt, right? Because if you start to jump a bit too much, you might get back aired or down aired or nared, right? Like you really, especially in this situation, don't want to trade too much with Yoshi because you're already down a stock. So forward tilt's a really good tool. It outranges Yoshi's grounded options, keeps you safe, and it gives you some stage control. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to land it too successfully after those first couple exchanges. But Chumpkin, I think a lot of that's coming down to Chumpkin playing this matchup really well.
Yeah, really playing it as well as you can in a matchup that's definitely a losing fight for you. As you get that side B from the opposite side of the stage, getting the kill sparks there, but not enough to actually get a KO. That back air off the top, yep, barely off the top as we see Minix and Dallas Baptist down to their final stock here in game number 1. Dak, what is there some crazy thing that Ridley can do to bring him back in this match, or as we do see that up smash, or is this a wrap?
I think the Ridley, I mean, you just have to avoid putting yourself in the corner. I mean, that's how they lost the previous stock. They up B to the corner, tried to do something there. Oh, that's what, just go for the side B. Like, don't go right to the ledge, try side B, but definitely don't want to put yourself, if you're in the corner, go for it, but don't intentionally put yourself in the corner, because I mean, in almost many situations, Ridley has a hard time getting off the ledge, and Yoshi has no problem keeping you there.
Yeah, with neutral air, with eggs, with the threat of neutral B, like we saw right there. Yeah, keeping people at the ledge is one thing that Yoshi is fantastic at, and Ridley not the best tools for really getting out of the corner there, like you said too. But yeah, really good side B, giving yourself a little bit more space, and now potentially a bit of momentum here for Minix.
Yeah, the Ridley kind of struggling here. You saw Fireball land, no follow-up, kind of swing for up smash and down smash a little bit there. Side B comes in, just regular get up should be go. Get up attack, also a good option. I think right now just need to slow this down. Nairs would definitely be good now because you're seeing Chumpkin commit more to forward air. The side B lands again, won't kill, but this is where you get some fireballs off, right? Like, start using fireball because you know Yoshi's going to jump past the ledge. But surprising a lot amount of these side Bs are landing, but now it's stale. It's not going to kill, and Yoshi's still a bit heavy, but really, the Ridley is just jumping a lot when Yoshi's off stage, but I think the fireball would be the option you want to be going for here.
Ooh, I really think if Chump actually up B there, they might have had enough momentum to actually magnet to the ledge, but opting to just lose that stock. But you know what? Taking one right back as LCU, that is Lubbock Christian University, taking a very, very, very close game number 1 over Dallas Baptist University, the closest set we have seen all tournament, and honestly maybe the closest set across all of the games that we've seen so far.
And that could have gone either way too, right? Like Mini just needed to land like one side B at the ledge, land in there, get in, and you could have easily killed there for sure. Unfortunately, just kind of get a little bit too lax on the top of that near that blast zone. Should have air dodged or something like that, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. They're playing and not us, so we don't want to judge too much. I think that Ridley was certainly starting to pair up against Yoshi a bit better as things went on. Just kind of getting caught jumping a little bit. I think honestly the biggest missed opportunity there at the end was not using fireballs at the ledge, right? Like the Yoshi will certainly get caught there a bunch, but we still have more to go, right? We still have another game at the very least. It's not over just yet between DBU and LCU. Don't go anywhere. We're having more of the rest of the second best of 3 crew battles of the night coming your way on the other side of this break.
Welcome back, everybody, to NACE Starleague. This is the 2022 fall season. You are watching Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. We just saw Game 1 versus Lubbock Christian University and Dallas Baptist University. Lubbock Christian taking that very, very, very close set. Came down to the absolute wire, managing to take that set and going up 1-0 over DBU. By far and away the closest match we've seen in the couple of weeks that we've been broadcasting this. Could have gone either way. I'm just wondering now if I'm DB. Well, honestly, if I'm both teams, considering how close that was, what's the order that I go in? If I'm DBU, do I send in Ridley first? Minix is a fantastic player, but just Ridley as a character, I feel like that might be a bit of your weak link there. Do I send Ridley in first so I don't have to rely on them to potentially make a comeback in the end? Do I send in King Cannon first, who I think is their best player, to try and build up a big lead at the risk of losing my best player potentially early on? If I'm LCU, do I go Worm Hero? Like, basically the same thing. Do I send in Worm Hero first, who I think was their best player? Or maybe even Trey, who, with that link, who actually played very, very, very well. Forgot about them. Or do I send in someone like Trey first, just to kind of build up some momentum early, because you know that the other team is so evenly matched to you? Like, getting that momentum as early as possible is going to be vital. We'll see how it goes as we get into game number 1, as we are going to be seeing King K. Rool. There we go. Oh, wait. That's Hansuke. Okay, we didn't actually see Hansuke last time against Konk, who's now switched to Joker.
Yeah, considering that we didn't see a Joker earlier because of how it feels to potentially play them online, now that we do see the Joker, we'll see how this performs. Against a character like King K. Rool, though, I think the difference in connection versus, playing offline, I think is gonna be negligible here, because you don't have to be as precise when you're fighting a massive alligator or crocodile, I should say.
Whatever animal they are. And with the Joker, again, if you're unfamiliar with Smash, you see that pink meter above their portrait. That is their persona meter. Once that is full, they summon or send their persona, and they become one of the hardest hitting characters into the game while maintaining this blistering speed that this character is known for. And that is when Joker becomes very dangerous, as we're going to see Arsene pop out right now. There it is. This is basically one back air away, which could have been right there, from being a quick stock for Konk. The counter.
That should be it. Yeah,
there it is.
Go. Takes them out. And by the way, man, I'm pretty sure that Kremlins are crocodiles, and I know by the name King K. Rool they are crocodiles, but I know alligators have wider, shorter snouts, which is what King K. Rool has. But I don't know. Maybe he is an alligator. Pretty sure he's a crocodile, though. But maybe in Nintendo Land they're swapped around. I don't know. Just things that keep me up at night. But
all right,
nonetheless,
he's a crocodile. I just googled it.
Yeah, I know he's a I know, that's what I'm saying. I know he's a crocodile, but his snout shape tells me that he's actually an alligator. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. But maybe, I don't know. Maybe if I was standing next to K. Rool, I'd be like, oh, maybe his snout is very long. Nonetheless. What is long right here is the big lead that we're seeing here for Konk. They have about almost a full stock lead up against Hansuke's King K. Rool, and of course that is a big difference to make up for K. Rool, who at times can have some trouble working from behind.
And you mentioned it in the earlier set when we saw King Ken with the K. Rool. K. Rool, a character who oftentimes depends on setups to get a KO, doesn't really have that one consistent KO move that they can throw out. Kind of like Joker. When Joker does have Arsene, you can really just spam back air and be safe most of the time. But they do manage to get that read, really good dash attack, and it's hard to contend with that dash attack sometimes, especially if you're in front of it, just due to the fact that there's so much armor on that belly. You really just have to get out of the way.
175! Try to get out of the way of this down air guns. No counter comes out. That's going to be obviously not in Arsene mode, so it wouldn't be worth going for. Hansuke now at 181 on this second stock, and this is scary, I think, still for Konk. The amount of rage this K. Rool has, 1 or 2 hits, I think, away from actually killing. That would have, I think, would have done it.
Yeah, that downer definitely wouldn't have done it, but you know what? The saving grace known as Arsene is now here, and we see that back air come out. Konk, after looking it was a little bit scary there in that second stock, definitely in a great position, about half of the Arsene meter left, could rack on a lot of damage here. As you see a quick 37 on 43. Oh, and the counter on the armor. What's the option here for the ledge guard? Kind of surprised we're not seeing too many stomps there at the ledge there from King K. Rool and Hansuke. Pretty decent option at the ledge. Okay. Now, this is where we're going to start to see Conk struggle. Because Joker without Arsene famously is not the best at getting consistent KOs without getting a gimp or without a little bit of cheese or something like that. And with the amount of percentages that they're at, 84%, they might not get a chance to pull Arsene out unless they get a hard read with the counter before losing a stock of their own.
Crown not going to keep you safe there. Oh, actually powers all the way through that down air. 124 now for Hansuke. As Conk looking for a way in. Things have slowed down just a little bit until finally they land that back air. Calling it out once more, doesn't land. There's that side B, and just looking for the committals that Hansuke is giving them. Committing to a down smash, gets the confirm off of that, but the combo is not going to kill. Another dash attack comes out for Conk here, and they're just keeping the pressure on. A nice little shift over. This I don't think will kill, and it won't, not even getting the sparks. But will Hansuke be able to recover those guns just barely whiffing? Conk doing a good job of staying safe against the K. Rool and just whittling away. They know the kill is going to come to them. There's no need to fully commit.
And the dash attack, I really feel like Conk was running to the right side and accidentally DI'd into the blast zone there from that dash attack, KOing from the opposite side of the stage. Really doesn't happen often, but Hansuke at 179%, Joker only about, what, a third of the Arsene meter, and you are definitely gonna need it. Okay, there we go, that counter. Putting Arsene potentially into play very, very shortly. Back throw is not gonna do it, but even at 200%, Joker's gonna struggle. Never mind. I was going to say Joker's going to struggle to get a KO, but you know what? Guns at the bottom of the blast zone.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I don't know if the up B from Hansuke just didn't come out quick enough, or they were just way up. Whatever the case was, ended up falling to the bottom of the blast zone. They're definitely kicking themselves for that one, but Conk barely hanging on in the end there to take a very, very slight lead over Lubbock Christian University here.
And no surprise, I think, coming from Conk. I mean, they had Zero Suit, and a lot of players that play Zero Suit or Joker, like, they also have the other in their pocket. Just, like, similarly played characters in a lot of ways. Love this Arsene play here. Look at that. Just the constant pressure. Like, you don't know when he's going to strike, and at the same time, like, there's so many moves being thrown out very safely and very fast that K. Rool just really kind of just, like, has to stay there. Like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. It can be rough for K. Rool, especially in the corner too, right? Like in that matchup, Joker locks you down with side B, locks you down with back air. If they can land the dash attack, that's a lot of stage control they get. The grab's right there, and of course when they have Arsene, they can counter if there's any get up attacks or jump in. So it's K. Rool has really limited options, and they can't really jump from the ledge without, you know, burning like armor either too, which against Joker is probably a lot of the time your best bet, but it's a hard, there's no guarantee off the ledge against Joker, especially a character like that who's just so fast, can really react. I think that's the biggest thing, can react to whatever K. Rool's going to do and doesn't have to make a choice on the outset. And you can see that right there, Conk keeping that in mind.
But at the same time, Joker is one of those characters that if they don't have Arsene, they can struggle to get a KO against heavy characters. And if we look at the rest of the roster on LCU, they have a Rob, heavy character, Yoshi, deceptively heavy character, Link, heavy character, none of them as heavy as K. Rool, but still three relatively heavy characters. So if they can manage to kind of play around Arsene well enough, I can't see LCU kind of taking this Joker out really, really, really quickly. So if I'm LCU right now, I think I go Link. I think I go Link or Rob. I don't know if I want to send Yoshi. Maybe, probably not Link. Probably not Link. You could kind of eat up projectiles with that counter, so probably not Link. I think I might go Yoshi or Rob just to have a little bit more weight on me to survive potentially. But we will see what the option was, and they are actually
saying Yoshi.
They are going Yoshi. Good call. Fantastic call there. So saving Worm Hero for a little bit later, not going Link either. Again, because of that counter that Joker has, could kind of just get Arsene for free if you're going to spam projectiles on them. So I do like the Yoshi pick here. Again, it is just one stock you have to take out, and this matchup isn't the worst for Yoshi.
No, definitely not. I think Yoshi's going to have obviously the biggest issue when Arsene comes out.
Yes.
Before then, Yoshi can, especially in this situation, can afford to trade. And you can see the Nairs and the forward airs are going to be coming out. Up tilt and up air also as well. Really good options when Joker's kind of looking for those short hop aerials. And you know you're going to, again, kind of catch them trying to mix you up. But what I really want to see here is, you know, potentially, well, Yoshi Bomb, not a bad option, but yeah, punishing those counters, as you want to be able to take advantage, and then just avoid Aegis if you can. But Chumpkin gonna try to play aggressive here, which I think even on this stage might be hard to avoid, but when Arsene's out, I mean, at least what I think of, like, burn that meter, right? Like, run away a little bit, air camp a little bit, maybe throw out some eggs, and wait that out before you jump back into the fray.
Yeah, just kind of camp it out and throw some safe pressure with those eggs, because when Joker does get hit, the Arsene meter does actually go down. So if you can manage to kind of time it out a little bit, get some safe pressure with eggs, maybe an egg layer or something like that, a very good option. But you know what? Either way, Chumpkin did a pretty decent job of waiting out that Arsene. But at 133, might potentially lose a stock here, which would be amazing for DBU if they can manage to get another one. Option on the ledge here, that down air, couldn't do much off of it. It's going to be an up air out of that, but gets Arsene last second. And this is really bad for Chumpkin. This could be really bad for Chumpkin. Okay, went for a counter.
Now I think Chumpkin's playing it right now because the Joker's so high percent. Like, sure, you might lose the stock, but now it's not even worth trying to camp out the Arsene. Like, go for it! Oh, it's just off the mark! No shield break there. And that will be a stock lost by Chumpkin. So they should be able to get out of this, cleaning things up on Conk and putting them down to their 9 stocks for Dallas Baptist. But there it is. There's down tilt. Chumpkin playing a bit aggressively against that Arsene does pay the price. And that means Conk will walk away with a little bit of extra credit there going into these next matchups.
I appreciate the attempt on that down B shield break. I appreciate the attempt, but not sure if that was the best time to go for it when you're risking losing a stock like that. As we're going to see it, I think this is probably it right here. Yeah, I appreciate that attempt, but you know what, getting punished for it immediately. Good job right there from Kong to take that stock. But you know what, DBU hanging on to this one stock lead, this very narrow one stock lead, and you know what, we are in for another really close set. It's looking like that.
I think you're absolutely right. Both of these teams showing that their teams or their players are pretty evenly skilled, and I like the adaptation from both. Like, no team seems to be really like out of sorts in a lot of these matchups. Like, they definitely can adapt over time. They're learning. Obviously, we're seeing different orders and we're seeing different characters too, which I think is probably the biggest takeaway. One thing that I'm very much interested in now is where does LCU go in terms of the rest of their bench? Because we know Hansuke came in. Game Typology was the player that they had ran last game. So now I'm curious, okay, did Game Typology replace Trey? That's probably the most likely thing because we've seen Hansuke already. We've seen Chumpkin, and I doubt Worm Hero was taken out. Yeah. So that means there's probably not a Link waiting. Well, I mean, then again, it could be either Link or Game Typology being replaced here. So I would think maybe they lost the Aegis and maybe Trey stayed in as the Link. Of course, for Conk getting knocked out there, now we're going to see we have, you know, a K Rule ready to go. We have we gotta get the Yoshi Ditto.
Yep.
And then Mini XO, Minixo, Ridley, right? That's a character we might see there. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more character changes, right? We already had Conk change off the Zero Suit to the Joker. Chumpkin stayed with the Yoshi. We don't know if Worm Hero wants to stay on Rob. Most likely will. Trey might have another character. This is now a situation where the teams are even, and it could still go either way because we don't know the entire orders. But we also don't know if the players are committed to the characters they already used.
And if I'm a Minix, I think if you have another character, if I have another character other than Ridley, I really do think now's the time, because no matter what you go into, whether it's the Worm Hero Rob, whether it's the Trey Link, whether it's the Game Typology Aegis, you're fighting a losing battle, no matter which way you go. Or if DBU has a fifth player, maybe send them in. But if I'm Minix, I really think I don't go Ridley if I have another character, because I really think that character might be a bit of the weak link on the team, especially just looking at it on paper matchup wise, doesn't do well against any of the 5 characters that we've seen from LCU. So we'll see how that goes, what they opt to do in the future going on. But we still have another we've had a lot of Yoshis. We've had a lot of Yoshis. We still have Torchy on DBU as well, so they might just throw it in for the ditto, a little bit of for some maybe Texas Yoshi bragging rights or something like that. Or they might kind of just play a bit of the matchup, or maybe they'll just send in King Ken right there, their best player probably, to just clean it up a little bit. We'll see how that goes.
And we were talking about this between the sets here in the break. Each team we've seen tonight has had a Yoshi. We've seen 4 Yoshis.
And 2 K rules.
And 2 K rules, right? That's collegiate Smash right there. That's collegiate Cruise right there. I'm not at all surprised that that's how that's going. We're now going to see our next matchup here. And it looks like, and this is, we are going to get confirmation here, by the way. Game Tapology was the player that was taken out for LCU and replaced by Hansuke, so that does mean that Worm Hero and Trey are the 2 remaining players outside of Chumpkin for LCU.
Cool. Good to know. Trey had a really, really good set last time, so I'm excited to see them play. But right now, Chumpkin trying to hang on to these 2 stocks as King Cannon looks to kind of build upon this lead that DBU has to potentially put them in a position to win the set. But right now, Chumpkin playing relatively well, able to avoid a lot of the things that King Cannon wants to do. And here's an edgeguard opportunity. That egg, armoring right through it with that crown, and getting that spike, that reverse from King Cannon. Fantastic. Chumpkin going down, losing that stock, and now DBU up 2 stocks over Lubbock Christian University.
Oh, I think that crown just giving him away. I like the reverse crown there, using it to get back on stage. It'll keep going past K. Rool, but gets caught in the get-up attack scenario, landing there on that up smash. We'll see how King Cannon can now keep this lead up on Chumpkin. Certainly a way for Chumpkin to work their way back in.
And Chumpkin right now just on that ledge, fighting for their life, trying to get back on stage, but King Cannon not letting them do it for free. Does manage to get an egg and to give them enough space to finally get on, but a fantastic down smash read from King Cannon is going to do it. That is Chumpkin going down, and now DBU has, I believe, a 2-stock lead over Lubbock Christian University, looking to put themselves on the board and not take a 2-0 loss here in this second set of the day. But looking at rosters now, Chumpkin is now gone, and we saw Hansuke earlier, and we got confirmation that Game Typology was the one that was replaced. So we have Trey with the Link, we have Worm Hero with the Rob. As we get into this replay, this whole string was really, really nice right here. Whiffing on that, and I believe this is where we see up that down air and a read with that down smash right about here. I think they went for the perfect shield there, couldn't quite get it, but either way, King Cannon moving, or not moving on, but maintaining that lead. But yeah, LCU has Worm Hero, has Trey, Link, and Rob. This is going to be, I feel like this is a tough kind of choice, because on one hand, King K. Rool oftentimes doesn't care about projectiles because of that belly armor. You can just eat up a lot of the stuff that Link wants to throw at you. But at the same time, if you do manage to get some projectiles off and Link gains that momentum, it can spell the end for King K. Rool, like pretty much any other heavy in the game. But you also have Worm Hero with Rob, which is a bit of a riskier pick despite it being your best player, because if they do go down or if they do lose 1 or 2 stocks here against King Ken in the K. Rool, it's not looking good for you. Even if they do manage to get out of it alive, it's not looking too good for you. So it's going to be, it's a risky pick either way. I lean towards Link, just to save Worm Hero, just in case. So I'm leaning towards Link here in Trey W.
I think you're on point there, right? I think the Link is probably a safer move. The Link can probably take out the K. Rool and then get a little bit of extra credit to set up Worm Hero for success.
Exactly.
So it's tough because this could potentially go to a game, this match 3, right? Like, this is the first time I think that we're really looking forward to that, rather seeing that as the likely option. Even though the other sets and even this one are close, one team still kind of had the edge either way. But now all of a sudden LCU finding themselves down and behind is something that I didn't necessarily expect, but I mean, you have a Yoshi, K. Rool, and Ridley. That's, you know, a decent
doable.
character pool. It's doable, but it's not dominated. It's not something you're like, oh, sure thing, shoe in, right? I mean, to be fair, it's Smash. Nothing is a sure thing, you know, as Moon Lady had mentioned earlier. But this is, you know, against the Link and Rob, two characters that can really set the pace on their own. I'm interested to see how this goes. I'm with you though. I think we're gonna see the Link from Trey.
And we are seeing the Link from Trey again. Bit of a safer pick. You could run away, camp K. Rool out a bit. K. Rool is, for a heavy, deals with projectiles a bit better than most other heavies in the game, but it's still a heavy, slow character at the end of the day. And when Link gets momentum with bombs, boomerangs, arrows, whatever the case is, they can rack on a lot of damage very, very, very quickly. So we'll see how it goes here. As they get off to a pretty decent start, Trey W there, 20 or so, 30% lead right now. And again, just playing the camping game, not approaching at all, staying on this left-handed city platform and just barely leaving it.
I mean, that's really what you need to do here, because LCU, knowing that they're, almost 2/3 of a character behind, you don't want to be giving up any sloppy stocks right here, right? So that's essentially at the moment where Trey wants to avoid taking almost any damage here. If they can get away with winning this without losing a single stock, I honestly think LCU then can take this, because we know what the last two players here are capable of. King Cannon having a lot of trouble here, though. This is just a wall they cannot break through. The up B, the first hit gets perfect shielded, but the rest, that parry is not enough. They weren't able to get the rest. And that is going to be a first stock here for Trey.
And only 30% on Trey as well, playing that first stock to perfection. Again, just not opting to play that boxing kind of run-in willy-nilly game that K. Rool wants. K. Rool feeds off people just making mistakes and pushing buttons when they are not supposed to. But when you're Link or when you're any character with good projectiles, you can afford to push buttons a bit, because they still have to approach you. And King K. Rool, not the best at getting through stuff.
Okay. Both players there like, you go first. You go first. I totally get that too, especially as Link against K. Rool, like sitting in shield near K. Rool. You don't know how they're gonna move out of shield. Like, that is scary. But I love this Trey is conditioned a bit there. That was the second situation where Trey found themselves in shield up against that, and the down smash completely breaks it. To be fair, Trey's shield was at like half health after that, or before that. So they probably should have avoided that to begin with. But again, got to be careful. And you got to be careful of that dash attack. Trey will clean things up, but they will walk away, dropping a stock. So it is 6-5 now for Dallas Baptist, as now they are down to their last two players, Mini and Torchy.
And that one stock that Trey lost, I bet they're kicking themselves for that one. This would have been a completely different match if we were going into potentially tied up or something going into that last stock there. But yeah, I think they're definitely kicking themselves for that, as we're going to see this down smash shield break, like you said. A lot
way too long in shield there, actually. Now that we've played it back, like, your shield's already so low, like, at that point, I would almost just jump away. Like, it's again, risky to do, too, because the K. Rool could have short hop forward aired, but considering how often the K. Rool is going for down smash, just in general, gotta be wary of that. Like, you have to be wary. I think a lot of that of Smash is like, sometimes you have to kind of recognize how you've been conditioned. Obviously, you want to avoid being conditioned, but sometimes you want to have that, or you want to, whenever you can, try to get that awareness. Like, oh, okay, like, I've realized I've been doing this. They've been doing this for so long. Like, try to, like, take a step back mentally and see, like, I've been getting caught by this often. They've been conditioning me to do this. Like, how can I play that to my advantage, right? And that pickup of the down smash used by the K. Rool wasn't picked up soon enough, unfortunately. So Trey will drop that one stock, and you're right, that could be the one stock that comes back to bite them in the end.
But at the same time, we still have Ridley and Yoshi on the other side, and I would say two characters that I think Link does decently well against too. So, and the way Trey was playing in that last matchup, phenomenally. If they can kind of keep that same kind of strategy going forward, playing hyper defensive, almost not really approaching unless they absolutely needed to. Against Ridley, that's absolutely going to be an effective strategy. Yoshi, not as effective, because Yoshi's, okay at bobbing and weaving through projectiles. But unless I'm mistaken, Trey did pretty well against Torchy in the first set that we saw earlier today when they had to go against each other.
I think you're right there. I don't entirely remember, but I think you're right. And Trey is a solid link. Really, They just need to set up Worm Hero for success because we know that Rob is coming. And against Yoshi Ridley, Rob should be okay. I mean, we already saw like Worm Hero kind of messed Mini up. I don't think they're worried about that. I think really what needs to happen is Trey take Torchy down to 1 stock. Worm Hero gets that 1 stock without dying. And then it should be LCU's game to win. So this is coming down to it. We are right now on the cusp of potentially having a match 3 here in this best of 3 or LCU walking away with it, but they're not going to walk away with it very easily.
As we get into this game 5, and they are opting to throw in, they are going in with Minix and the Ridley. And if I'm Trey, I play this the exact same way I played against that K-Rool. Ridley, a bit quicker than K-Rool, but still at the same time doesn't have the tools that K-Rool has to deal with this myriad of projectiles that Link wants to toss at you. As you get those fireballs going there.
There we go. This is exactly what you need to be doing. Shield, Nair, Fireball. 4 tilt also a great option, but Fireball is what you want to be using. You got to be careful charging it, obviously, because Boomerang will contest that as arrow. But the single Fireball can be devastating and does get back to the stage just enough.
And one little thing that Trey just did there didn't work, but I like the attempt. He went for that reverse up B. And that reverse up B on stage, obviously you can't grab the ledge, so you have to be really, really careful with your placement. But if it does catch somebody, you can lose a stock, even if you're heavy.
Oh.
You can lose a stock incredibly early if it does catch you. So I really like that Trey went for that there.
Trey is swinging right now. I mean, I understand Ridley is light, but Trey is actually opening themselves up to a lot of damage just by swinging so hard with these smash attacks. I totally get it, though. You want to clean this up early, but Ridley can punish. I mean, one thing Ridley definitely has, it's an extremely strong advantage state and can end your stocks. I mean, that forward smash would have killed. Now they're 100% at kill percent. Up smash will kill it easily. Side B will put them really far off stage too. So Trey is taking a lot of unnecessary damage here and should be punishing that too, but was already committed to Boomerang.
Ooh,
that arrow, the snipe though, hitting him with a Dr. Disrespect and gets that kill.
I thought CSGO was yesterday. What the hell? That was a
right? Yeah. Wrong night.
But yeah, one thing I was about to comment on before was we've seen a lack of bomb usage from Trey. I thought we would have seen a couple more bombs get tossed when we saw Minix Ridley off stage. I thought we would have seen a couple more bombs get tossed just to kind of intercept the relatively linear recovery that Ridley does have. But opting to not go for those and to go for... That would have been gross. Go for a couple other options instead.
Trey really needs to walk away with this without dropping another stock. It is doable.
Ooh, that's punish. Oh, I lied. That could have been a big punish there on that up B, but Minix not able to get anything out of it. Watch that Boomerang.
Yeah,
Side B, that's going to be a stop.
I mean, Trey is getting caught sitting in shield a lot now in this series against the K-Rool. Now against the Ridley. The Ridley, of course, would love that every single time to get the side B kills. Oh! Swing it, and there's a shield break right back at you. How you doing? Up B takes it out.
How many shield breaks have we seen today? My lord.
A good amount, obviously.
Jeez, they really don't happen often. We've seen, what, like 3 or 4 just tonight. Right now, Ridley trying to get some, or Minix trying to get some stage control right now. Very good grab read. Back air. Nice. One more backer's going to do it.
Oh. No, he's too far down. No way. Trey dropping, and Mini holds on. That could be the series, or at least the match decider there, right? Because now Worm Hero has to get this kill on Mini, the single stock, without dropping anything. I think it should be okay because we saw Worm Hero kind of work the Ridley pretty hard, but good job by Trey to kind of even things out just a little bit here. That forward smash comes in, the down B. Whew, wow. To respond after that, and then hit him with the charged up B, that's some style points for sure.
Yeah, definitely get some style points for that one. Don't see the charged up B very often, but after a shield break like that, you got to style just a little bit to, show off for the crowd. But last character for LCU, Worm Hero, the Rob Ridley Minix on 1 stock. I still think, despite the stock deficit, I still think this is slightly in LCU's favor, despite being down a stock. If they can manage to get out of this Ridley fight without losing anything, Torchy against Worm Hero, I think that's a very good match for Worm Hero. Despite that, Torchy and Yoshi definitely capable of doing some damage to Worm. But still, right now, I'm still liking LCU, despite them being down to stock. But Ridley, Minix, I was going to have to play out of their mind in this next match if they want DBU to have a chance to win.
Mini just needs to take a single stock, I think. Because I think Torchy should... I mean, Rob Yoshi, I think Worm Hero might have the slight advantage there, but Torchy should be able to do it if they only have to take out 2 stocks. But that's really a big ask. We saw Worm Hero 0 to death Mini the last time they faced on the first stock. So there's a good chance that Worm Hero doesn't even drop a stock or even a single percent going into this next one. Mini has to play out of their mind. And then Torchy, does Torchy stay Yoshi or do they have another character? We've only seen the Yoshi so far, of course. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out because it is coming down to the wire yet again. And this is the difference between this being a 2-0 or going to a game 3 here, a match 3 in this series, this best of 3 crew battle here at NACE Starleague. It has been a crazy night, a very close collegiate smash here. We've seen 7 stocks coming out from these matches, and yet teams still keeping it close. Obviously, DBU versus LCU has been incredibly close, and I know both of these teams are feeling the pressure a little bit because it could certainly go either way very still.
And both of these teams fighting to be 2-1 on the season. You would hate to be 1-2 this early on and kind of have to fight your way back to a winning record in the last couple weeks. So both of them kind of fighting for that positive winning percentage. A lot at stake here. And I know it's very early on in NACE Starleague. It's only week 3, but there's a lot at stake. There's only, 8 weeks? So every single game matters. It's like the NFL. Every single game matters. You can't afford to really drop anything. So the fact that we're seeing 2 1-1 teams both fighting for that and coming down to the last match potentially, very, very excited to see where this goes. We are going to see Worm Hero and the Rob popping in. And Mini on 1 last stock with the Ridley. If Mini could take out 1, just 1, they have done their job and they have set Torchy up to succeed in the next match. But you mentioned it, we saw this matchup play earlier. And you know what? We saw almost that exact thing happen right there. Worm Hero damn near 0 to deathing Mini. This is looking pretty rough.
Mini, I think right here, go for that side beat cheese. Like try to steal a stock away from Worm Hero. But so far, Mini already at 100%. The back air will kill here for sure. Has to be so careful. Yeah. They're way out of invincibility there. So I'm surprised Worm Hero didn't kind of land and go for the down tilt, but expecting to jump in. The side B, super risky in this matchup, and that will do it. Worm Hero evens things up. It is 3-3. We are down to our 2 final players, Torchy versus Worm Hero, to decide if we are going the distance or if LCU is going to bring it back. They've been down. This whole crew, the second crew battle here, they've been down the whole time. And LCU is about to bring it back, potentially, and make it 2-0. Can they do it? Can Worm Hero live up to their name and clutch things out?
We are going to see as this last match proceeds. But here's the replay. Going to see, just down tilting on that gyro, trying to contend with it. Oh, whiffing the side B. You said go for the side B cheese, and they went for something, and they got punished, getting that up smash out of.
Well, that's not side B. Side B cheese on the stage is way too moldy to eat for sure. You gotta go right to the ledge and just start side B'ing, bro. Just keep doing it. Like that's that. I mean, realistically though, against Rob, it actually is not very good to do. So it's understandable, but you have to be so careful with those side Bs on stage. It's such a laggy move. You get a lot of reward. It's a high risk, high reward move. And in that situation, I think the best thing you kind of do is just air camp and nair, right? Because one of the best things about nair, despite it being so high coverage, is that the tip of his sword, or tip of Ridley's tail, acts kind of like as a sword, but it can clank and stop projectiles. Yeah. So you keep that move active, you can keep yourself safe, and you can potentially trade. So in that situation, could have maybe less side Bs, again, less committal, high risk, high reward moves at low percent. Could have changed the face of that stock, and if Mini took a stock off Worm Hero, that could have been a huge shift in how this one goes. But here we go. We have Torchy and Worm Hero, our last 2 competitors here for DBU versus LCU. Which way is it going to go?
And we are down, to the last match, a standard 1-on-1. This is basic This is basically just a regular tournament match at this point. 3 stocks each. Last player on both teams fighting to stay. DBU fighting to stay alive right here. Lubbock Christian University looking to go to 2-1 on the season. And my God, Dak, what the hell was that?
This is still crazy how LCU has really been working from behind this whole time, and here they are with Worm Hero as their anchor, something that we talked about a little bit. Their foundational player in the position to be in the role that they need to be in, this clutch last anchor character, this last anchor role player. And as Rob, you can just keep piling on the damage. Yoshi is going to keep getting sniped by this gyro. Yoshi, I mean, outside of Egg Throw, really has so few ways to get in safely against Rob, and Torchy just wants to keep holding forward.
And yeah, Torchy's running into a lot of stuff. We see them bomb right into that gyro right there. 100% lead right now for Worm Hero, and that's probably going to be it. Let's see if they jump. Nope. That is going to be it. Fantastic edge guard. Good snipe there from Worm Hero. Only 48% on them, and you know what? They are still going with the way they are playing right now. I wouldn't be shocked if this is like a 2-3 stock with the way they're playing. I lied. Maybe not anymore.
This is still not out of the realm of possibility, though. We're not counting anybody out here. That forward smash lands the egg toss. That could have been deadly.
Nice.
And again, this is... the deja vu once again. These forward airs catching the Robs coasting up into the air and getting a bit lax on their recovery. And now it's tied up 2-2. This has to be a heart pounder for both of these players, because it literally comes down to them whether or not this series continues. Dallas Baptist has been in the lead this whole time, and now in a situation where Torchy is starting to let it slip potentially, Worm Hero has the opportunity to take this home.
But this is what we saw in the first stock. We saw Worm Hero, basically dominate the entire stock, managed to take a stock, good double jump armor to get through that gyro, but then Torchy came back right after and took a stock of their own. So maybe that we might be seeing a repeat of that, though Torchy looking a little bit better in stock 2 than he did stock number 1, but does get backyard. And now DBU, Dallas Baptist University, and Torchy are now 1 stock away from going down to 1-2 on the season, and Worm Hero is looking to make this a quick match.
They absolutely are. This gyro has just been setting the pace of this entire matchup here.
Gyro.
It's so hard for Yoshi to commit, and gets caught doing so. Nice job. The back air lands. Now it's a full stock lead, and Worm Hero trying to get rid of him quick. Goes in, looking for the grab, gets caught up by the egg throw. The forward smash just out of range there off that air dodge. Going in hard. And I love this. Torchy recognized like they have to make a play here, and they have to do it now. And there is the Yoshi bomb. That's still not enough, Muse.
There we go. Gets that up smash. Up smash definitely enough. And you know what? Despite the percent lead, this is still a match.
This is a clincher, man.
We know how much Torchy loves those forwarders.
Yeah, that's literally what I'm thinking.
2 good ones, but that might be it. No, good jump out. All Torchy needs is 1 or 2 good forwarders off the stage.
Oh.
But we're going to start to see Worm Hero probably look for a grab. Oh no, down tilt.
And also remember, the gyro down smash has been a threat all series long. Worm Hero has already taken out 2 players with it. Will Torchy be the third? The gyro, it's now 161. Worm Hero can trade in almost any way imaginable, and it's so hard for Torchy to carry this Rob coast to coast.
Yep. There we go. That neutral air trade, not going to be enough. Weaving out of the way of that gyro.
No, it still lands. They break the shield. They let go, trying to punish. And the rest of that Rob side B lands. And just like that, LCU, Lubbock Christian University, bring it back on the shoulders of Worm Hero at the end to take the series 2-0.
I didn't think that side B was going to hit. I was like fully prepared for like a neutral air at a shield or something like that. I did not think that side B was gonna hit. That might have been like a parry attempt, a perfect shield attempt from Torchy there, but either way, did not pan out, as we are gonna see. Okay, because that was like the last hit of that side B. I want to see that again quickly. But Torchy just doing everything. And one thing I gotta commend Worm Hero for, Gyro was the MVP of that match. Gyro was the absolute MVP. We barely saw. There you go, last hit. I think Torchy may try to parry that, but Gyro was the MVP of that match. Torchy did not know what to do about it and did not have an answer for that at all. I feel like every single time Worm Hero pulled that Gyro out, they got exactly what they wanted. Even if it missed, it forced Torchy to react to it. They left it on stage. Torchy would, because Torchy, I feel like, has a holding forward issue a little bit, likes to kind of charge ahead a little bit too much, was running into a lot of the gyros and kind of just kept kind of going headfirst into them. So I really got to say that gyro, 1000% the MVP of the match. And I got to give a big shout out to Lubbock Christian University for now being 2-1 on the season. But this easily could have been the other way. I know it was a 2-0. I know everyone's looking at the scoreboard and see 2-0 for Lubbock, but this easily could have been a 2-0 for Dallas Baptist. That is how close this set was.
Yeah, the scoreboard really does not tell the whole story, and I think that's something we have to keep in mind going into the rest of the season, right? It's easy to look back at some of these teams and be like, oh, they got a 2-0 victory here, they got a 2-0 victory there. LCU barely walked away with that 2-0.
Yeah,
DBU
barely.
had the lead the entire time. They started off strong off of Conk's Joker, and even King Cannon doing some solid work, but LCU clawing their way back. I mean, Chumpkin on the Yoshi, fantastic job.
Amazing.
And of course, Worm Hero, I mean, Trey on the Link, solid job there. And keeping King Cannon at bay, which was absolutely fantastic. But of course, Worm Hero, the clutch Rob. I think it was a double factor here of like Worm Hero being a very solid player, but then like having the Rob as your anchor and Cruz in general is so strong. Such a good move. Keeps you clear in terms of matchups. And when you're Rob versus Yoshi in the last matchup, you have to be feeling good going into that.
Yeah, absolutely. We talked about the strategy, and we're going to probably bring this up in the future too, whether you hold your best player for last or you send them out first. I think in a matchup that is this even, where one or two hits could have determined where this match went, I really do feel like holding Worm Hero and holding your best character for last definitely was the right move, because they had to take out, like 4 stocks, I believe, and did a really good job of that. If it was like the opposite, and again, everyone on the team was great, but that's 1000% the player and the character that I want if I need to take out 3 stocks and not lose anything over everyone else. So I think saving your best player in a close match like this, definitely the move. But still, moving forward, it's still going to be really cool and interesting to see how players decide, or how teams decide to play their best player. Is it first? Do you put them in third? If you're down, maybe do you put them in second to kind of make up a bit of the deficit, whatever the case is. But yeah, going forward, I'm going to be really interested to see how each team decides to play their best player and when.
Yeah, I think what we've been seeing is teams, flexing in terms of like game to game. Like they might play their best player first, the first match, and then the second match of the series they kind of save them. Like, okay, like let's try to react to the change up on the other team. But of course now you're playing this kind of game of like rock paper scissors there and trying to blind pick one another. And we even saw, for example, DBU put Conk in first, who had a really strong showing the first game, and they did not go first the first time, I believe. So it was, I think did they go first twice? Was it the Zero Suit first and then the Joker?
It was Zero, and then Joker, yeah. And then Joker.
Yeah, so, that wasn't, they changed up a little bit here and there, but like they put Mini in a bit earlier than expected, King Cannon a bit earlier. Obviously, LCU made a whole lineup change, right? They swapped out another player entirely. Definitely want to talk to them about that as we go into the interview soon. And that, again, it comes down to like, okay, character changes for sure. We saw like Zero Suit the Joker. Everything else stayed the same, but then we saw player changes. We saw order changes. And I think what we're learning a lot of the time, of course, the season is how important the order is, right? Like playing that game of who's going in when and what, depending on what you think the other team is going to do. The blind picks going in from the first game to the adjustment to the second game. That is all super integral to the success of this. I mean, this could have gone either way, and had LCU not had Worm Hero as their last player, they might not have won that. So it really comes down to like who, those decisions at the macro level, as much as it is how people are playing, how the players are playing in game at the micro level.
And one thing I'm realizing now, you brought up a fantastic point about the order. When teams are this evenly matched, when there isn't a clear favorite, that order is so important. We actually saw it in the first set, where we saw, I think, Shendoa University have a pretty decent lead over Lebanon, and then Lebanon just changed the entire order of their team. Didn't change characters, and then brought it to like a 2 or 3 stock. They end up losing in the end of 40, but still brought it to like a 2 or 3 stock deficit to almost win that set. So like that order is so incredibly important, especially when teams are this evenly matched. One more thing about Lubbock that I really feel is a good thing is having that fifth person. Having that fifth person, you can just swap in and out. You have more options. Having more options is always a good thing, because now it's like, not only can everyone switch characters, now you have a whole other person whose playstyle you're not familiar with that you have to contend with, and you may not know who they play and all that kind of stuff. So I really feel like having that fifth person and swapping out, obviously it worked out for them as they won, but I really feel like that's going to be a thing moving forward. I'm hoping other teams and other schools utilize is having a fifth person to kind of swap in and out just to deal with certain matchups.
I think you're 100% right, and I'm curious to see how many more teams do that throughout the season. This is the first time that we've seen a team play out with 5 players, and I've looked at some of these team pages. Some of these schools do have multiple, more than 4 players listed on their squad. So I'm interested to see how many teams really do dig in. Do they stick with their main 4 players? Do they have a deeper bench than we would expect? And do they flex in those characters when necessary, or those players rather, when necessary? It's interesting to see that work out for LCU in this one, but could backfire in the future.
Yeah.
Definitely something that remains to be seen.
Yeah, having a player come in cold after having to watch a whole set, not being able to play, could bite you in the butt. But we do have an interview with the winning school, Lubbock Christian University, coming up right now, and we have Worm Hero, the absolute MVP of that last match. Worm Hero, how are you feeling, my friend? You played amazingly.
I'm feeling ecstatic. Me and my team, I'm very proud of every one of my players. We did outstanding, and I am very proud with how we did overall.
So I gotta ask, this was by far the closest set that we've had on the broadcast in the few weeks we've been broadcasting. In the end there, when you're down to just 3 stocks each and it basically just becomes a standard one-on-one tournament match, how do you keep your cool in those moments, knowing that you might have to go to a game 3 in the end if you lose?
I mean, honestly, so this has been like a training procedure, not mostly like a training procedure kind of thing that me and my team, we've been going through. Like, we've been doing a lot of more offline brackets. We've been like telling each other like how we can mentally be prepared and how to mentally get composed. And so we would do like breathing techniques, stretching techniques, and all sorts of other things, so that way we're ready to know, like, all right, we know it's going to be even here. We know what we need to do. Instead of focusing on the winning, we try to focus on how we're going to get the kill, how we're going to take the stock, and how we're going to move forward from this.
That's awesome. I mean, that's the first time I've heard any collegiate players like, we're doing stretching and breathing before our matches, which I think needs to be way more commonplace. So I definitely love that. And y'all, I
would say it's mostly just composure. So like, when I'm sitting there, I have my glasses on, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to breathe for a bit before I go in. So I'm cool down. I'm not nervous or shaking and all that. The same would go for the rest of my players.
And that was necessary in this one. Like Mies was saying, that was super close, and y'all were actually working from behind a little bit on that second series. So how is everyone feeling as you got closer and closer to the end of the series, and you're still kind of trailing by a stock or two? Like, what changes were you making mentally? How are y'all keeping yourselves in the game to eventually get that victory?
Well, I would say, to answer that question, we're all looking at each other, and we're just like, all right, this is what we need to do. Like, we know what characters are going to be going, we're like, okay, we know we need to counter with this. We know what stage we need to go for this. And we're like, okay, with that in mind, we know what we're going into next step. And we're like, okay, you're going to go next, and then you're going to go next, and then me, so on and so forth. And then I guess the same could be said for like what I was saying before with like the whole composure idea, just like, we each have like our own different techniques, right? So like, in some cases, I'm okay with some people talking in the background, whereas maybe another one of the players might not like that. They might want to just stay focused. Or like Chumpkin, you see he has his earbuds in. He does better, with playing music. And so I say it's all around different. And so I think it really does well for all of our players to have their different techniques on composure and knowing what they're going to be doing and going into the next games.
No, that's great. Like Dak said, that was like the first time we've heard people talk about that. But to take it away from Smash a little bit, I've asked this question to every single team, and I'm curious to see your answer. How does it feel to just be representing your school on this big of a stage? I know you've represented yourself, you've gone to tournaments and done well there, but how does it feel to be representing not just yourself, but your friends as well on a stage like this?
It's honestly awesome. I will say. So it's kind of funny. I'm actually the youngest on the team. I'm 18, and I'm actually a freshman. And so going on to this, the LCU Smash team in specific, all the players left before I came on, and my players came on, and we had to do a lot of recruiting and all that kind of stuff to find who we want for my team, the varsity, JV, and all that other stuff. But with that being said, going into this, I knew I already had, like, I was chosen to be captain for a reason. I got, like, my interview and all that kind of stuff to, like, okay, do you have these leadership qualities? Do you have these player qualities? Do you have et cetera, right? And so with that in mind, I knew going into this, like, I want to go to this school. I want to play for this school. And so with that, I already have the traits of what it's like to be in this campus of Lubbock Christian University. And so, and like I was saying, just playing for this team, I've always had the passion for playing for Smash, and I've always loved playing it. And so all my players, they love playing it. And in the end of the day, you know, we go out, we have fun, we play our offline brackets, and then after we're done repping at LCU, you know, we go grab dinner or something, and we just kind of have fun at the end. It's all fun and games.
I absolutely love to hear that, because that's so great to, like, yeah, to see what y'all have as a team is awesome, and especially building a lot of this as a freshman at the school, certainly a lot to do. I gotta ask, like, you're the last player on the team. You're potentially gonna drop this last, you know, game here, your last 3 stocks. How are you feeling going into that last matchup there? Like, what was going through your mind? Like, oh, this is all riding on me. This could go to another one. We got to win here. How are you feeling?
Oh man, anchoring. That's what we like to call it.
Yeah,
being the anchor, it's really, really hard because all the pressure is on you. And so I used to be a huge Wi-Fi ward before I went into doing a bunch of offline, and I will say I love offline way more. But
as does everybody.
Yeah, everyone loves offline. I do not like Wi-Fi. But when going into the old Wi-Fi crew battles I used to play a lot, there were a lot of times when I didn't know how to handle the composure or pressure of being the last player or being a counter, like being the pivotal point on saying, you're the player that's going to have to take us back into a winning. And so with that in mind, like, it's a lot of pressure. And so, like, it just comes down to composure and just keeping that mentality, like, okay, don't focus on the winning, focus on the winning. Oh, no, don't focus on the winning. Focus on
I know what you mean.
How to take the stocks, what you need to do, combos, neutral, advantage, disadvantage, all that other kind of stuff. And my other players understand that as well. And so not just me, but like Trey and Chumpkin, we all 3 could have had the potential to anchor, but I've made the lineup clear, like, all right, I feel I'll be the most confident going anchoring last because, you know, it just comes down to countering of, like, what characters and what we do best against each other characters. So that's what I'll have to answer that question with. It's very pressurous. It's very like on the spotlight, you know, but once you just understand, like, I'm just going to breathe, I'm just going to relax, then you're good to go.
All right, Worm Herald, thank you so much. We're going to let you go now. Tell the rest of your team congratulations. Go celebrate your win. Don't have too much fun, though, because we need you back next week. But congrats to everyone. To tell them I said what's up, and I just want to say, this hearing you talk, you have a fantastic head on your shoulders, and if Lubbock has you for another 4 years, then your program is going to be doing amazing things. So I just want to say that before we let you go.
Thank you so much, sir. You both have a great day, a great night as well, and we'll definitely be celebrating, but we'll be back next week, and we'll be taking all the W's we can, baby.
Absolutely. Thank you,
Good
Worm Hero.
night.
So that was a Worm Hero from Lubbock. Man, the words 18 years old and the words of wisdom, just the wiseness just coming out of his mouth was fantastic. Like you said, like, that's the first time we've heard people talk about just breathing exercises, stretches, all that kind of stuff, which is so important in any sort of competition, not just Smash. But before we end the broadcast for today, we're going to take a quick look at the schedule. Tomorrow, we have CSGO. coming back next Monday, Rocket League, and on the Tuesday, the 28th, we have COD and Valorant. So we have games going on all week. So Smash isn't your thing, we probably got something for you. So to stay tuned all week. Well, next week, really. Stay tuned. Coming up next week, but we do have CS:GO tomorrow, everybody. But man, thank you for watching. I'm just still just in awe from what I just heard Worm Hero say. That was like, if he's there for all 4 years, then their program is going to be in very, very good hands. But we do have to close out the broadcast now. But before we do that, I want to give a quick shout out to every single sponsor that made this tournament possible. That's Extra Life, Corsair, Monster, BetterHelp, Duncan, and Mavix. Again, this would not be possible without any of those amazing sponsors. So shout out to all of you.
Absolutely. Of course, you can head over to extralife.org for more information on how you can help change the future with games. And you want to keep checking us out here at NACE Starleague as the 2022 fall season will continue week to week. We're moving our way through the regular season. And of course, every Thursday, we're here for Smash Ultimate Cruise. Thank you all so much for checking us out. We hope to see you next week. We hope to see you tomorrow for CSGO, on Monday for Rocket League, on Tuesday for Call of Duty and Valorant. Keep sticking with us throughout the season because we have a lot more collegiate esports action on the way. Thank you all for tuning in tonight, and we'll see you next time here at NACE Starleague.
Have a great night, everyone.